If you're not one of the elite, like Woody Johnson or Geoff Fienberg, then you have to wait outside.
It's true. Not everybody can have things arranged so that they can meet their heroes. Some of us have to stand outside with the crowd and just hope to catch a glimpse of glory as it walks by.
I don't want to go back down this road again, because last time I mentioned having access to somebody, it's gotten turned into like 6 ways to sideways. But let's just put it this way. I'm not even going to say it.
Say it.
There's a link. Philip, me and Philip's brother aren't total strangers. Okay, just leave it at that. But I don't think it's weird.
Mayo experience.
Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Mayo experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 5 picks against the spread, survivor selections, free money, which was a winner last week, shockingly enough, and a mini version of Cust Corner midway through the show. I want to remind everyone to smash the like and sub to the channel, and please leave a rating and review on the audio podcast. People, if you have not done this, do not just chuck your garbage out of the window. Put it in the garbage can. Isn't that right, Geoff?
Yeah, garbage in the garbage can.
See, it's easy stuff. This you can figure out. I think everyone can figure that out, just like they can figure out to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Subscribe while you're over there as well. The Listeners League is now available, as is the Week 5 League Safe Pick'em game. Both are down in the description. Geoff, you've been off from this show, at least, for the past 7 days. Feel like your campaign has built up a lot of momentum, although you have done nothing.
Yeah, I've done nothing. And, Tim being a political animal, so he knows that the value is increased, like with the visuals. And maybe I get a rant on here all the time, but that visual of him eating the corn dog, I suspect, stays with the electorate. He's afraid of a popsicle stick. No one would ever, even, no one eats a corn dog like that. It is so weird. I almost the gloves with the chicken wings to me is so weird, but in some sense, okay, it's like maybe really practical, but still really weird and psychotic. This is next level. A corn dog is not designed to be eaten like that. I'm curious how he goes about eating a popsicle. Popsicles aren't hazards to children. So why would a corn dog be a hazard to you?
Well, let's bring him in. He deserves a chance to defend himself because of this. It is The Coin. Oh, wait, no, it's Tim Undergust.
Tim Undergust.
That's not my name. And, you can go ahead and slander me all you want. First, I don't chew popsicles.
Where's the slander?
So, just saying that, that I'm afraid of the stick. It's just I don't want to chew into a piece of wood, which is what Geoff is recommending that you do while you eat your corn dog and your pogo. I think that's a little deranged. And I don't chew on my popsicles.
Eat it like you eat it? Like,
I don't know. I really haven't noticed.
You think you're one-upping everybody, or we're all the crazy ones?
I actually have no idea. Someone asked me this the other day, and I was like, I just presume people do it this way. I really don't have a muscle memory knowledge for what people are doing.
Wouldn't they put the stick through the entire thing if that was their intention? So you could actually grip it from both sides like a bike handle or something?
I mean, that would be convenient. I agree. That would be convenient. But I just don't want to be taking a big bite out of a piece of wood, or then having to slide, quote unquote, slide it up when you get down low. I can play with my food like a 6-year-old. I'm sorry, that's just not something I think I should be doing.
Hold on,
but you grab the food
about
anyway.
Having this tissue paper skin that bruises easily, that cuts easily. You literally should just live in a bubble. Like, you're afraid of everything. You're afraid of making a phone call.
I'm not afraid of making a phone call. You keep saying that as if it's true, but it's not true. I just won't make a call with someone on the other end of the line who doesn't know they're going on a podcast, put them on the air. I just won't do it.
But you said you wouldn't do it before we mentioned that.
I told you if you dialed a phone and gave it to me, I would talk on the live show.
Why can't you dial the number?
The very fact that you won't take me up on that offer shows me that I'm completely correct in my suspicion that I shouldn't do it.
Why? I don't understand that part of it. Why can't you just make the call?
I will make the call. You dial the phone.
Why do
hand
I?
it to
Why?
me on the live show.
But then I am making the call. What?
No, you
part
just dial the phone number.
But
And
that's
then you hand me the
you
phone.
realize that's me making the call, right? That's how
No,
you
but
make
that's
it.
you.
That's how you make a call.
That's you verifying that I'm actually on the phone. That I'm not just pretending to be on the phone.
Yeah, but then you take the phone. Then I can't see the phone.
But then you know it's on.
That's great. I know that the phone is on. You could have hung up ages ago.
I think I am not nearly clever or crafty enough to pull that off in front of you like that on camera.
It was a bad week for you, Tim, I think, because the end of last week's show was also alarming. And
Which
when it
many
was
people said they
discovered
didn't listen to.
that you get
Who said that they didn't listen to it?
There are people who are saying I didn't even listen to the end of that show because, and I apologize to people.
1 second.
We should
Who
never,
said,
ever,
hold on,
ever
stop,
go 3
stop,
hours
stop.
again.
Who? Name names. Who said that they didn't listen to the end of the show?
Kenny said that very thing on the show Sunday. He said I didn't even get to the end.
He said he didn't get to the end, and then he fast forwarded to the end because he heard what was at the end, so he didn't listen to like the 80% part of the show. See, you don't listen to people.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's there are people who just simply don't go that long because we for some reason decided to be self-indulgent and go 3 hours.
What is with you in the 3 hours? What is with you in the 3 hours thing? Oh, fuck off! What's with you in the 3 hours thing?
I apologize. We should never go that long.
Oh yeah, people don't want more free content.
People don't know what they. Sometimes people don't know what
really
they want.
Because the numbers suggested
they don't know what they
that
want.
it was the most popular show of the year.
I appreciate that.
People don't want that. It was just too popular. We got to scale it back.
No,
Sometimes people don't know what they want. They need me to tell them.
Oh, they need you to tell them? Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes,
No.
as the People's Tribune, I need to tell them what they actually want.
Hold on. Stop the clock. What actually needs to happen and what happened there was natural. We didn't be like, oh, we're going 3 hours today. We got to hit 3 hours. It was natural. Just like sometimes we might go an hour 50 or something. Like it's just natural. That's how it should be. We're not just like wrapping it up when we're having a fun time, a great time. The things are moving along and it feels like, at least for us, it's going by. That should be the creed of how the shows end. Obviously there's real life and sometimes, there's somewhere someone's got to be and we do have endpoints, but the creed should be like, it just should naturally take its course.
I disagree. I need less time, not more. I'd rather keep it shorter, not longer. I need less time.
I mean, if you have things to do on Tuesday night, you need to tell us that, and then we can wrap
I don't
it up.
have things to do. I just feel like left to my own devices with 3 full hours. I got a campaign to win here.
Oh,
and the longer it goes, the more advantageous is it to Jeffrey.
So you're worried that the more you talk, the more insane you're going to sound.
I'm concerned that down the back stretch I may tire. And that my vigilance the last 2 weeks towards the end of the show is what. Anyway, so that, and I just don't think people need a 3 hour. I just don't know how you can consume it properly. You can't even consume it on your drive in and back on the way home from work in one day.
Who cares? You can start it on Wednesday, finish it on like Friday, Saturday. You can nibble it away every time you're on the road. Like people choose your own adventure as to how you combat the 3 hours.
I just feel like we've become like the Academy Awards.
I have a 5-hour wrestling podcast I listen to every week. I started on Monday and I finish up sometime over the weekend.
That feels decadent to me.
Why?
I just think there's value in parsimony and trying to get it, I don't know that a tight 2:15 is.
But dude, there's someone who had to go on a crazy road trip or maybe had a horrible day in waiting rooms that like loved it. And maybe there's a couple people that was like, oh, that was a little long. So I don't know, but it was natural. And you being literally in a straitjacket when you have a 30-minute delivery was really one of my highlights in a really long time from you, Tim. Plus the corn dog, simply fantastic. That being said, I had a question because as it was made last week, you can't call anybody, you can't use the phone, you can't go to the washroom, you can't do anything. You pretty much wait for a delivery like trembling with fear.
Yes.
What happens if you need to have like an air conditioner fixed, a cable repairman,
same thing,
maybe
man.
Some maintenance, and you get this 10 to 2 window? Are you just like dead?
I know I can't go anywhere the whole time.
Can you take a phone call?
Yeah.
Very brief if it's important. With the caveat that I may have to let you go at any moment because someone may knock at the door. So, like, don't settle into a detailed conversation because I may need to leave in a heartbeat.
I mean, outside of maybe like your parents or your grandparents, who are you having like long conversations with on the phone on a regular basis?
The fact is, if someone's calling me, they may want to have a long conversation. I don't know.
I mean, is it our friend Brad who's an absolute goober? Is it him?
I mean,
Is
that
he,
does
is he
happen.
calling you?
Those calls do happen.
Man, the Patriots are so sick. Did you see them? Mac Jones is actually really good. Don't believe the propaganda.
More like I scored 165 points in fantasy this week against him and lost. He just wants to call to talk about that.
That sounds like a one you could really get out of pretty quickly. Like, fuck off, hang up.
Yeah, well, I don't like to be that way.
Maybe you should be, and then you won't get stuck on the phone with idiots.
I did ask him when the Red Sox game starts today because I couldn't find it on the dial.
No, he must have. Was he just absolutely devastated? You really got one on him there?
Well,
or did he say, man, I won 4 championships last 20 years?
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he says. It's the only comeback he has to any of it. And you know what? They've won like 20 championships in Boston, so he's pretty pumped about that. I could see that.
Not this year.
What about your teams? How many have they won in the past 20 years?
None.
What about this year?
Not looking good.
I don't know. It sounded like there was a rejuvenation on Sunday night.
The worst of all possible outcomes. They lose the game, and Zach doesn't play his worst game ever. So just more enough reason to keep rolling them out there. Like things couldn't have ended worse.
Well, Geoff, would you
play Mahomes?
And they lost the game because he fumbled the ball.
That is true.
And that the ref called a PI that was borderline. But I'm not blaming the refs. The Jets had some calls that went their way in that game too. Those things balance out.
That was a pass interference.
Very questionable. But at the same time, we got a face mask.
In so much that it was a pass interference, and they called it for
probably,
once on sauce.
It probably wasn't. And when the flag got thrown,
because they showed the replay of it. And then when you watch the replay, watch the replay of it, it's like, oh yeah, it's pass interference. Can't do that.
Yeah. Except then, the commentary, they were like, that's probably not PI. But anyway,
are those people the refs?
I'm not blaming them. I'm not blaming the refs on that. I'm going to blame Zach for fumbling the ball in a key moment. In Sala deciding to punt the ball in a terrible moment, choosing not to go for it. On Breece Hall not making a sidestep to the left for what would have been a game-winning touchdown because it was clear that the Chiefs were probably not scoring anymore that game. And it looked like Hall was gone. And he gets himself tackled by, I think, number 6 on the Chiefs. But if he makes one little side move to the left, he's gone. I think that's the game. Like, I came away from that game very disappointed with the Chiefs have played 4 games this year, and 2 of them they have looked very poor in. I don't know. Maybe they're just not revved up yet, but they certainly haven't looked like the Eagles. They haven't been nearly as impressive as I was thinking that people thought they might be.
Tim, the people really want to know, is your 1-3 more impressive than Miami's 3-1?
No, of course not, because Miami scored 70 points in one of those wins. So no, of course it isn't.
Okay.
If the Jets had won and were 2-2, I don't think there's anybody on earth who would say that their 2-2 wasn't more impressive than a 3-1 when the 2-2 would be against the Chiefs and Bills without a quarterback.
I wish you could be saying that right now.
Well, I don't even think I would have to say. I think other people would already be saying it for me, and I would just have to kindly nod my head in agreement. But that ain't the situation we're in. And they lost because Zach, in the end, still made some bad throws. He fumbled the ball, and they lost the game. What are you going to do?
You and I tied for the victories last week. We were ahead. We were 9-6 because the Chicago-Denver game, which was Geoff's super lock, ended in a push. So there's one game off the board. That brings me to 34-29, taking the lead in the spread picks through 4 weeks. Geoff went 6-9, very nice, but 31-32 for the year. Tim was 9-6 to go 33-30 to move into second place. And the coin, after going 10-6, was 5-10 this week to fall into last place with Geoff. I remain alive in Survivor because the Eagles won in overtime. You two goobers are out, and the Superlocks were 0-2-1. Tim and I lost. Tim got his first loss of the season, and Geoff pushed. But, Tim, you hit your 5-leg money line parlay. It was close. You had Philly on there. You had the Chargers on there, Kansas City. But then Dallas and Seattle just kind of ran away with the game. So you got a big win. You're 1-3 on the year now.
Thank you. Yeah, the parlay sort of appeared out of nowhere, made sense, and we've sort of put together another money line parlay this week, which I think also has got a very good chance of success.
What did that one pay last week?
What did it pay? 4 something? 485?
Good for you.
Said it on the show.
Plus money on the season.
There we go.
Winning record with the picks.
Up to 22 and 123 lifetime.
I'm liking it. I'm liking where we are here.
You start digging up, you're going to be good to go. So let's try to do that on Thursday Night Football. Oh boy. Chicago and Washington. The Commanders are favored by 6.5 points at home. 44.5 is the total. The Bears are a league worst, 5-14 against the spread on the road since the beginning of 2021. And weirdly enough, Geoff, the unders have cashed in 15 of Washington's past 19 home games. I remember that stat came up last time when they played the Bills at home, and obviously the Commanders didn't score enough points for that to go to the over, so that was another under. Something weird about maybe it's the field in Washington. They play a little bit better defensively in Washington, but unders, for whatever reason, keep popping up in Washington. I'm going to take the Commanders minus 6.5. I think we saw the best of the Bears last week, and they still couldn't win.
So it's off of overtime, off a short week. This would go against everything I would kind of believe in, but I'm going to jump on with you, Pat. I just trust the Commanders so much more. That's probably not a secret. I think Bieniemy and those weapons will have no problems moving the football. And whether it be a holding penalty or something stupid, not to say Washington won't, but Chicago will just out-stupid Washington 3-1. It'll get us to cover.
And Fields is good for a fumble. Then if that gets returned for 6, then it's an auto cover because it happens every week, Tim. Just the fumble the moment that it looks like they have any momentum, the ball's on the ground.
Yeah, rack them up. The Commanders are the first part of my money line parlay too.
Oh, going back to the money line parlay, huh? I'm trying to think. I got week 1 wrong because I took Kansas City on opening night. But I think I've been 3-0 on the Thursday night games since. And they've been because Minnesota backdoored against Philadelphia, but that was still the game where they had the 4 turnovers and they ended up covering anyway, but losing the game. That's been pretty cut and dry on Thursday night. Maybe there's something to with these short weeks, just the superior team, or if it's close, you take the points. If there's a lopside in terms of talent overall, that there's almost not enough points that you can take in some of these situations.
Seems to be the case. I mean, we're still early days to know if that's quite a trend, but we've seen that in the 3 games that we've had so far.
In 3 games on the short weeks, yeah, without the entire offseason to go. I mean, everything's going to be a short sample in the NFL. There's only 17 weeks.
No, you're right, but I can't develop a trend through 3 weeks. That's all.
Yeah, the scary thing is to somewhat think you could be potentially paying a tax to bet the Commanders, in that the Bears are sort of like this national laughing stock, and football fans kind of seem very clued in or entertained by the Commanders. Win or lose, they get you fantasy points. You like them, you know what I mean? So maybe we're paying a premium, but I still think the Commanders are going to cover.
Me too. That's why I picked them. Minus 6.5, Geoff. Did you not think that they were going to cover, but took them anyway?
No, I'm taking them despite a lot of factors that I would normally bet against, like overtime headed into a short week, and also an emotional loss that they probably should have won the game just by going for it at the very end of it. But the Bears are matchup proof in some respects. They got me a push last week with my Denver bet. Who deserved that?
Yeah, you did not deserve that. And I don't think any of us really deserved our teaser wins on Philadelphia last week at -2 or -2.5, whatever you got them at, because I was convinced that Washington was going to go for it at the end of the game. I was like, well, the teasers are dead now too, regardless of the outcome. If Washington gets it, they win. Even a field goal won't have the cover for the 2.5 if Philadelphia is able to come back. And if they don't get it, it's a 1-point game. That's the end of it. But thank God, Ron Rivera. What happened to Ron Rivera? He was doing this shit 10 years ago, and now he won't do it?
Was he ever really River? But I know he had the nickname.
I remember him getting destroyed. I think that we came on here and talked about it. I think it was Ron Rivera in Carolina, where Carolina went for it at the end of a game like this. It was either a 2-point conversion at the end of the game to take the lead, or it was to win the game outright on the field. Tim, do you remember this? And then Cam hit a guy. I think he hit Greg Olsen, who was wide open. Greg Olsen just dropped it, and everyone's like, Ron Rivera's an idiot for going for it. It's he had a guy wide open. He threw it to him, and the guy dropped it. What else do you want him to do?
an encyclopedic memory for these sorts of things, but I don't remember that. I think he went for it once and got it. I think there was a time where he was known as more of an aggressive coach, but that, he's just living off of reputation.
But there was also a time where Cam Newton was what Anthony Richardson is today as it pertains to the 2-point conversion.
And I mean, imagine going for 2 when your quarterback doesn't have a broken hand and you could win the game by going over the top with a fully healthy quarterback. I mean, imagine a coach having that ability to make a decision.
Feels like you're just hijacking that in there. There probably would have been a better time to get to it.
Yeah, there will be a better time to get to it. But they're on bye this week, so you don't have to worry about that.
But anyway.
What's that?
That was probably the best time. I don't think we're going to actually get back to it.
They are on bye. It is Canadian Thanksgiving. So maybe you have a Canadian Pilgrim parlay here this week, Tim.
Yeah, I should look up the CFL spreads and give you a Pilgrim parlay for that.
Is that
but
league
the Pilgrims aren't a part of Canadian Thanksgiving, so it wouldn't make any sense.
Is that league still operational? The CFL? They still play those games?
Despite Geoff claiming that the team in Toronto would make more money if they didn't play, I think that the organization, that the CFL,
it still exists. They just announced Green Day is doing Grey Cup halftime, Pat.
I did hear that they're going to do the Grey Cup halftime show, which is like a band I'd actually tune over to watch the halftime show for. Not watch the game, but actually watch the halftime.
I mean, if you're 35 or over, you're going to be tuning in to watch Green Day.
The Jets Chad Kelly could probably be an upgrade for the Jets right now.
Who's Chad Kelly? Isn't he the lead singer of Nickelback? Are they playing at the Grey Cup?
No.
It's
Chad.
Chad.
Jim Kelly's nephew. He's like far and away the best QB in the CFL, but we've already done too much CFL here. So
the best QB in the CFL. Yeah, he's
Nathan Rourke.
He's probably great. Who's that fucking Mickey Rourke's son?
No. I think his dad I don't know. It's Canadian.
It's great.
University of Ohio.
It's great. It's just like when Tommy Maddox was XFL MVP. It's just like him. This guy's gonna
He
be
was
fucking
actually pretty decent in the NFL. For 1 year, he took the Steelers to the playoffs. He was actually pretty decent.
Okay. He came in for Slash after Slash.
Yeah, and that team went to the second round of the playoffs. Like Tommy Maddox wasn't that bad.
And then he fizzled out.
Okay.
He was never good again.
Well, Ben Roethlisberger took the job, and Ben's a Hall of Famer. What are you gonna do?
Not specifically about the Chargers, but I say a lot of really dumb things. Last week, I did kind of go on a rant about that push play. 3 other teams, including my Chargers, try the push play, and none of them seem to be close at it. So I'll shut up about it, that I think other teams could do it, because clearly they can't.
Didn't the Giants
Daniel Bellinger got hurt.
It?
Yeah, Daniel Bellinger got hurt last night on Monday Night Football doing it. So be careful. Yeah. Be careful what you wish for. The other thing to point out in this game, Washington has they give up the most sacks of any team in football. Now, I don't know if that's directly offensive line related or Sam Howell related, because a lot of that was attributed to Justin Fields as well. It's like, yeah, the offensive line's bad, but he just takes a ton of sacks at the same time too. There are other quarterbacks who don't take as many sacks, who have worse offensive lines standing in front of them. But Washington, their adjusted sack rate offensively is 15%. The Bears is 13%. They're the worst and third worst in the league. However, when you flip it around, Washington has a top 4 pass rush, getting to the passer over 10% of the time, where the Bears are dead last. I think that's just enough for me to look at it and be like, well, there could be pressure coming in from Chicago on Sam Howell, but there's going to be pressure on Justin Fields, regardless of what happens. So it just seems like he's going to be running for his life. So as long as he doesn't break off 2 80-yarders, I think we're good here.
He did throw some dimes last week.
I mean, he threw that one to DJ Moore that had to have an acrobatic catch in order for it to be a touchdown.
And Claypool's not even going to be suiting up.
Yo, yes.
They kicked him out of the building.
Yeah, that's such a drawback for the Bears that Claypool isn't playing.
I think it is, but anyway.
As
soon as he loses his job, which he very well may after losing on Thursday night. I mean, maybe the new coach will have enough sense to bring in, somebody who can actually catch the ball and make a difference, rather than Eberflus, who doesn't seem to be good at anything.
Well, you see, Geoff, Tim drafted Chase Claypool and got laughed at our fantasy draft, and then when we told him he was an inactive, he wants the coach fired for the Bears because Claypool's amazing.
Oh, I want the coach fired.
He's also Notre Dame.
Good. Yes. I mean, yeah, he did. So I saw him play at Notre Dame. He made some good plays at Pittsburgh. I mean, consecutive games is the coach of the Bears going to be allowed to lose before the crowd management says you got to go now? You can't stay here.
If he gets him the
For
number
you
one
to
and
say
two
yes,
pick in
so I saw him play at Notre Dame. Like you hold all Notre Dame guys up to a level like well beyond.
Not too much. I don't like Smythe that much.
because he plays for
Because
Miami.
he's on the Dolphins.
So
What you're so easy to read like a book. Like I call it like you cheered for the Bills because Miami was getting like way more
yes,
hype and pub and shine. Now the Bills are getting that shine. If they were to play this week, you'd be all over Miami.
that is 100% correct.
Let's talk about those Bills because they're playing in London on Sunday morning. They are 5.5-point favorites against the Jags. 48.5 is the over-under in that game. The Bills are 1-4 against top 10 passing offenses. But I guess, Tim, the question is, are the Jags actually a top 10 passing offense? Because by the numbers, they are not. Do you still believe in them?
I mean, what does believe mean, I guess? Like, do I think that they're the best team in their division? I think they probably still are. Are they as good as I thought they would be this year to start? No, I do not feel that way. I didn't see a whole lot of the London game. The London games just are on bad times for me, so I don't see a lot of them. But of what I saw in the highlights and the bit I caught at the end, I mean, that game was kind of over by then. It's hard for me to judge. I don't know. I think Buffalo, by the numbers, is having one of the best. I mean, outside of that Jets game, since the Jets beat them, they've had 3 fantastic performances. So if I'm being asked to lay less than a touchdown right now with this Bills team, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to take Buffalo, and they're also going to be on the money line parlay.
Yeah, they're pulling the homer when Frank Grimes set him up, and then everyone was just looking for the credit. Just like, he's in a competition with kids. Yeah, and he beat their brains in. That's what Buffalo's doing right now. Beating the brains in on everyone.
Yeah, they played 4 games, and 3 of them they've looked fantastic. And they've been 3 in a row. And I don't think that Washington puts up a heck of a lot of resistance. And then I think if they play in London this week, I guess they go off next week. So it'll be interesting to see whether that bye week will cool. Oh, actually, they don't. They actually, oh my goodness, they play the New York Giants on Sunday Night Football next week. Woof.
Dayball revenge game.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Not great.
Yeah, playing great. They're playing like a house on fire. I still don't trust them long term. I think when they get into the meat of playing the best teams late in the year when it gets colder, they're going to have their struggles. But right now, they're doing exactly what they ought to do. And how could you not take them against Jacksonville, which I don't think Jags can score enough to cover 5.5 right now.
We'll see if Zay Jones ends up going in this game, Geoff. I actually like the Jags in the points here. I mean, they're getting a home game in London, but it's credited as a Bills home game. And the one thing that I've noticed with Jacksonville, and maybe it's been quality of competition so far, is that their defense is actually kind of good. Their offense is hilariously underwhelming for what we thought it was going to be. But the defense has really stepped up in their place, and that's not something that I thought was going to happen. Whereas last year was like, oh, when they went on their run, their defense played okay, and then it was just offense. Like no one was stopping Trevi. But I think Trevi feels very at home over in London.
He should, I guess, feel very steady at home in London. I've been impressed by the Jaguars' secondary. Even in that game they gave the Chiefs, their secondary was incredible in that football game. When we did our schedule release show, I think I called this game the most egregious scheduling spot of the entire calendar, maybe one of the most egregious I've ever seen. It's also something we have never seen. The Jaguars being in London, a team meeting them in London. If the Jaguars blow this out, it will be a huge talking point when we're probably betting this exact same spot next year if the Jaguars have found a way to continuously play back-to-back games in London or more, which, you know, could be a long-term plan. I didn't expect but now the Bills feel like they might actually be the best football team in the league. And do I want to step in front of this spot game angle with the best team in the league? Said a lot of words there. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I don't want to bet it, but I'm going to take Jacksonville because I believe it's just a horrible, unfair spot. But I do believe the Bills are probably good enough to overcome it because they seem incredible at the moment. Obviously, anyone with eyeballs who watch Sunday.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I don't think I'm going to line up and be like, oh, I'm running to the window to bet the Jags plus 5.5. It just seems, I don't know. Josh Allen, this team going over. Is Von Miller going to play? Because there was all the talk last week. Because once that game started getting out of hand, they started cutting to Von Miller. He was like the Taylor Swift of the Miami and Buffalo game. Just cutaways to Von Miller all the time. It's like, well, he's eligible to come back and play next week. And he says that he wants to play. Seems like a really bizarre time to bring him back in London.
I mean, if they were playing in Los Angeles, would that be weird?
No, I don't think so. No.
But I'm just trying to throw it out there. It's the same flight, isn't it? In some respects,
it's not so much the flight. It's like if you re-aggravated your knee in the game.
Oh, he's stuck. That you're right.
Then you're in England. You're not in the United States. Like there's stuff that's off about it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're flying with the full med, and I believe this game's in Tottenham, the new like total home base for the NFL, or maybe not. Maybe they got the Jags. That's also weird. Is this in the same stadium they played in last week? Because last week was Wembley. So are they doing a London tour?
This is in the Hotspur Stadium.
So yeah, it's a different even building. I'm taking
the Tottenham Hotspur. You're taking the Bills?
I'm taking the Bills.
Okay.
They're just too much of a wagon. They're too cool. Josh Allen, we made the Cutler jokes, but it does really, because sometimes he's done the craziest things. It's in the last few weeks, he's been so much more accepting of taking underneath passes, and he could hit a whole new level. If he accepts the underneath passes and picks his spots more carefully.
He's not going to accept the underneath. Well, you've seen this story for the past 5 years. Josh Allen is who he is. He's not Jay Cutler. He's Brett Favre, like the guy's in the MVP conversation every single year.
No,
like, there's a big gap between Favre and Cutler. Favre used to do this shit all the time, too. And then it clicked one year, and everything went right, and they won the Super Bowl.
Okay, that's fair. And when I say Cutler, that's hopefully for people who have watched the show before. There's like a moment of Jay Cutler brain, and it's almost worse than Favre, but you're probably right. Favre, I'm going back one generation. You're going back two. You're from the talent level, you're right. It's an MVP level player. We should stop making the Cutler comments and the Cutler jokes, and they should just be Favre jokes. Those are more respectful to Josh Allen, and he's earned that respect. So I will try hard to do that. But I've never thought of Josh Allen as Jay Cutler.
But,
ever.
I mean, put it this way. Brett Favre on the field. I don't think you'd want to be compared to Brett Favre off the field, Tim.
Now, Josh been a bad boy off the field, though, a bit. Those in Buffalo, you don't care for those stories. They don't even come across your radar, Pat. But
what did he take out a loan from the government and steal all the money? Did he do
that?
No,
sorry. I thought you meant like playing days Brett Favre and stuff, or like dick pic Brett Favre. You're talking about, taking from the most needy, the people who need it the most. Disgusting, despicable, scumbag. There are many ugly levels of Brett Favre, I guess. Which is sad because he's my favorite player, like non-Charger growing up as a kid. I adored him. He's one of the reasons I love football.
It's one of the reasons you still wear Wrangler jeans.
Don't own them, but yeah.
Do you think that
so
we
I
can?
switched.
Do you think
I'm taking Buffalo?
Okay. Do you think we could do 4 hours and Tim will just sit there being silent?
Well, I'm not going to intervene when I have nothing to contribute to whatever the heck Geoff went on at length there for 10 minutes.
About what?
Well, Brett Favre and Jay Cutler and Josh Allen. It was all just a.
No, he's going underneath. That was beautiful. That was art. That was art.
Great. Then why would I interrupt?
Baltimore.
Called the Bills. Good for you.
Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 4-point dog. Not sure if Kenny Pickett is going to play, but it doesn't seem like it matters at all. How many points, Tim, is Kenny Pickett worth to this spread? I think that we're presuming Trubisky is starting at this point. As at this point in the week, it's a bone bruise on his knee for Kenny Pickett. That doesn't sound like he's going to play. No fire mouth in this game either. Sounds like he's going to be out multiple weeks with a hamstring injury. But if all of a sudden they said that Pickett's playing, does this spread even move?
Maybe marginally because the backup is so bad in Pittsburgh.
I would say that Pittsburgh has one of the better backups.
No, Trubisky can't play. He can't play. Sorry.
Most backups can't play. That's why they're backups.
Well, I've heard people on other shows make a very different argument that actually backups are very good.
How about this? When we go on, if it's announced that Trubisky is starting, how much money do you think Cam will wager on Pittsburgh?
I would be very surprised if they don't make his metal picks of some sort, whether if it's not one of the top three, his tungsten pick or Wolfram or steel or whatever the heck other picks he has. They'll be on there. I love Baltimore. Believe it or not, this is the third straight game it goes on a parlay. I don't think Pittsburgh has anything for them here. I think this line is too short. This is almost the Steelers are getting a little bit of respect that it's only 4 points. Like anyone who's watched the Steelers for the first quarter of this season should be able to tell you without sort of any punches pulled, they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Their offense is unbearably bad. The defense has been okay for the most part, and the special teams has not been great. So I think that Baltimore, who's a top 5-6 team, I think Lamar's got, in my opinion, if I were to cast a ballot for MVPs for the first quarter of the season, I think it has to be Lamar, even though I know he's not the favorite. I think he's third favorite. So that's not too far off line. He's third or fourth favorite. He's been playing great. He's been the most valuable player to his team without question through the first 4 games. And I like the Ravens here a lot.
I like
short.
I'm at a point here, Geoff. I think that the Ravens win, but I keep looking at these two teams. It's in Pittsburgh. Doesn't this just reek of Baltimore by 3?
Oh, Fienberg.
We're getting the hook. Tim has made me self-conscious. I like Pittsburgh. It just feels like an ultimate swerve after what might feel like they're one of their worst performances in the entire Tomlin era. You said it, Pat. It's Baltimore-Pittsburgh. It's almost guaranteed to be 3, even inside of 3. I believe over the last 4 years, 6 of their last 8 games have been inside of 3 points, with wins on the 1 and 2 point scale as well in there. I'm taking it. Pittsburgh. Nothing else to say.
Yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh as well. Ugh. Just basically, you
I don't know.
You have to hope that
you're going to get that against Trubisky. Not many.
What's that?
You're getting a gift here. You're getting an early October gift of getting a chance to gamble against Mitch Trubisky. If you choose to not only not take that gift but go the other way, like you deserve what you got.
Is this like your super lock? Is this your game of the first half of the season, like 5-star?
I don't know, but it's close to. It's definitely on the very short list of games I like for super lock this week, and it's on my parlay for a reason.
Game of the month, game you're not even going to bet real money on. Like, what are we talking?
If Pickett plays, then I just like Baltimore. I don't feel as confident. If Trubisky plays,
Pickett's been so bad. Trubisky could be an upgrade.
No, Trubisky isn't an upgrade. Trubisky's awful.
But so is Pickett.
No, well, he may be. The jury's still out on him. He hasn't had enough games to play.
Okay, yes, you're right. The future of Kenny Pickett is undecided at this moment. But there's nothing that he has shown us this year to say that he's better than Mitch Trubisky.
Not this season, but we saw stuff last season to make us think that. Anyway, look, the arrow is trending downward. There's no disputing that. But there is no arrow for Mitchell Trubisky. He can't play. So
I'm seeing Mike Tomlin 13-2 ATS after losing by 20 or more. Pittsburgh 3 in the hook.
It's 4.
It's 4.
It's 4.
4. Let's go.
Unders.
I hate them so much right now.
Let's see. Unders are cashing at a 73% clip since 2021 when the Ravens are favored in games, and unders are 12-7 in Pittsburgh home games over that same time. In case people are wondering, for more of these fun tidbits that probably don't mean anything, subscribe to the Mayo Media newsletter. It's completely free. It's down in the description right now. And if you are viewing this, yes, I am wearing sunglasses, Geoff, like my hero, Bob McCowan. Your guy,
like that.
The Bobcat.
I like that callback. Wishing Bob well. I know he's had some health problems this summer, and wishing Bob well.
I'm also just still recovering from my eye infection. It's getting better, though. See?
Wish you well.
It's getting better. Just don't want to put makeup in it, because that was the problem the first time when I got the makeup in it, and it clogged my tear duct, and then boom, I got big, floppy, watery eye all the time. Cust played some good golf on the weekend, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, I did.
Best round of the year.
For you.
One of them. Yeah, if not the best of the year. Yeah. I was hitting the ball pretty well for the most part. I made my putts for the most part. My tee game wasn't too bad. Yeah, felt good. No time to hit your stride like October in Canada.
really getting to that. So maybe it'll be good mo going forward.
Maybe. But glad that I'm really, really hitting my stride.
I did throw it out to the peoples on Twitter and yes, about guests for Sunday Night Live. Because, we're live every Sunday, 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time on Mayo Media Network. Cust is in studio. We make things in an air fryer. We go over the games. It's a fun hang while you get ready for Sunday Night Football. Highly recommended. Another show, Tim, where the ratings have been going up every single week. It's fantastic news. People, spreading the word of Mayo Media Network. Can't thank you enough. That's why those ratings and reviews really help. And, the retweets and everything like that. But I want to know, in the comment section, maybe you can tell me, just different people that you would like to see on the show. Yeah, I get you want Geoff on the show. We already have Geoff on a show every single week. And he'll do it once a year like we do. We run through it. It's like Cam doesn't have time to do it. Morency doesn't have time to do it. Just maybe some outside of the box people that we could get on. Do you guys have any suggestions?
So I was a little aggressive with my suggestion, maybe wanting someone from Tim's congregation, but I was thinking maybe we can rein that in. One of his friends from McDonald's seems appropriate. He says he hangs out there, meets people.
All right, so if you have a serious guest that you can give to us instead of wasting my fucking time, that would be nice.
Someone mentioned Bronstetter. I know you have him on your Custy's awards preview panel.
I don't think I've been on a show with Aaron. Aaron has been on the show, but I don't know if he and I have ever been together on a show.
There we go. There's something we can do. I don't know if he watches the NFL.
He used to. I know it's a silly thing to say, but I think he watches the NFL. He used to produce for Morency.
Yeah, but he's a full-time MMA guy.
Yeah, you're right. And those Saturday nights could be late, and then there's follow-up stories. There are follow-up stories on the Sunday. I feel like I had a great name, a real option that I was going to tell you last night. Now I've completely forgotten.
Morency would be amazing. Ben Raza is the guest this week for Sunday night.
Oh, is he? Okay.
Yeah. People were suggesting Davis, and I would say yes, but I think Davis does a live show at exactly the same time, where he records a show.
I'm surprised Tim gets out of Canadian Thanksgiving.
It's gonna be tough.
My family has traditionally celebrated Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving, not the Sunday.
So when is Thanksgiving then?
Monday.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Traditionally, but if stuff is on the go, either which way, I'm always there for the live show. Come on, it's a live show.
Yeah, it's
the numbers are going up. It's a live show. We're cooking.
We are cooking. Tim, it's an extra meal for Tim if he doesn't skip out on Sunday Night Football.
Exactly. I don't know what we're cooking this week, but we're cooking.
We're either doing wings or Brussels sprouts.
I think we should go Brussels sprouts and do something healthy this week after last week's less than healthy performance.
I wouldn't say that it was healthy, but after you left the studio and left all your shit inside, like your Diet Cokes on the table, as Paul pointed out, Paul looked at the back of the box on those corn dogs. Not as bad for you as you would expect.
Well, they're not that big, and they're a lot of air. That dough is mostly air, so fair enough, but it's still not the healthiest.
No, I would agree with you that corn dogs are not the healthiest thing that you could eat.
No, they're not. Correct. So, I would like to try vegetables done that way. I bet you the Brussels sprouts would be good.
We can do Brussels sprouts, or I can make you some kale chips. Those are pretty easy to do as well.
I'm open to trying any of these things.
Cust open. Listen to you. Adventurous Cust. Getting older, becoming more adventurous.
Yeah, why not be venturesome and try these things? If I don't like them, then I'll know. I'm not a mustard maniac, though. I don't need to put mustard on everything.
That's true.
That was creepy.
Carolina at Detroit.
Ugh.
Speaking of air, that's basically the Panthers' defense at this point. 9.5 is the spread. Detroit is favored by at home in this game. This is going to be my survivor pick, by the way. I'm just going to take Detroit in Survivor and try to keep the ball rolling down the road for as long as we can, although I have already won the competition, and we might have a restart coming pretty soon. More words on that. I don't want to say anything too much because then they'll tell me that they can't do it because they're jabronis or something like that. But hopefully they actually have it going, and there's $5,000 to the winner, and it's a free contest. More on that next week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, or maybe even by tomorrow. Who knows? I like the Lions minus 9.5 here at home. I don't know why they brought Bryce Young back to play last week. It didn't seem to make any sense.
Well, I guess they're trying to evaluate what they got on him. And
He's
so that's why
he's
they're
the first pick. They're pot committed at this point.
You would think so, wouldn't you? Particularly since you don't have your first pick next year. Yeah, what a bleak situation that is in Carolina. Because it's not going to get better this season. Like, they're going to be one of the 3 or 4 worst teams in football, which means that they're going to not only they're going to give up a top 5 pick. I think that's now an inevitability. The question is, which of those picks are they going to give up? And when Richardson and Stroud look pretty good, and so far Young hasn't looked as good, that nothing is no dies have been cast yet. That's got to be very unsettling. If you're a Panthers fan, like, there isn't much of a glimmer of hope other than you need Young to start playing well. And I don't know, this seems to be a spot where, they should be able to score some points. It's not like the Lions defense is shut down. We watched Seattle go up and down the field on Detroit just a couple of weeks ago. So I know that they have a top 5 defense by the rankings because they played so well in their other games, but that doesn't mean you can't actually score on them. We've seen it this year from Seattle. So this would be like, I wouldn't say Carolina has no chance to put up points here, even though it's not the world's easiest matchup. It's indoors. It's a big number. It's very weird to ask the Detroit Lions to cover what essentially is double digits. But look, I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not backing down off that yet. So I'm going to take Detroit too.
I think it was Walter Football tweeted that Bryce Young looks like dollar store Kyler Murray or something of that effect. This feels like a horrible. Tim said it. Like, there's nothing that's going to get better. Their offensive line is horrible. Their defensive line is injured. Detroit's off the extra rest from playing on Thursday. It seemed like they were in Jordan Love's face all day. Lions, roll them. This could be super lock for me.
I think Lions need to be in that conversation with San Francisco, Philadelphia, and Dallas. I think they're right there with them.
I think that
they don't get yards
team
for free like the other team.
Yeah. I think it's 4 teams that are cut above. I think they're right there with them. If they were to play Dallas, I think that's a coin flip.
I don't think that's fair to the Lions just yet.
Listen, I'm not saying that the Lions can't beat Dallas or any of those teams, but no team in the NFC has looked half as good as San Francisco has so far.
That's fair. So maybe San Francisco is a little bit above the other 3. I would go there with you.
Sure. I mean, by the numbers, like by DVOA, I think the Lions are ahead of Dallas and Philadelphia right now. So, I still think that Dallas and Philadelphia are a little bit better, but I think that gap is a little bit like the Lions might be closer to those 2 than those 3 are to the Niners at this through 4 weeks at least.
Okay, I could buy that.
Jamison Williams makes his return to the league.
Boy, play him in your DFS lineups, play him in fantasy. I'm telling you right now, he is scoring.
Yeah, but he might have.
I don't make DFS,
but he might have 1 catch for 50 yards and a score. That's not actually going to do you all that much.
He's going to have a big game. Just telling you right now, he's going to show up.
Maybe the Lions should sit him out another week.
Well, do you know why he got suspended in the first place? Like the real reason behind it, Geoff?
Gambling?
Yeah, he got caught teasing through 0. They had to teach him a lesson.
That's good.
Thank you. I'm here all week. Houston and Atlanta. This is like, I love Houston in this game. I don't think that I'm going to be alone on loving Houston in this game. They're 2.5-point dogs right now. They're way better than the Falcons at this point. The Falcons are coming back from fucking London. Like, what am I missing here? Is this penciled in stone because I'm probably going to make the Texans my super lock that the Falcons are going to win this game by 3 points? Like, what am I missing? Does anyone want to take Atlanta?
I mean, only because it seems so
easy.
Like that you caught up so much that they're basically saying they're equal teams. I get it. I watch the Texans too. I get why it's like this. I get why you want to take the Texans. I get why you don't want to take the Falcons. I think the Texans are going to be a popular underdog. I don't know, man. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to trust. I'm not ready to trust the Texans yet. I think this is you bet them here in this game if you trust them. And I don't think you're getting any value on the Texans. I think this is top of the market value.
I don't know, man.
You're buying a house.
I bet the Texans +3 against Pittsburgh last week, and I think we were all kind of the opinion even last week that Pittsburgh was a way better team than Atlanta is. Like, Atlanta's one of the 5 worst teams in football.
but they are back at home, and they can run the ball. I don't know, man. Give me
Hey,
a foul.
there it is.
I don't like
Tim hit on it.
I don't
The
like it.
Lions and the Jaguars are top 10 run defenses. And Atlanta probably sucks. And Desmond Ridder can't throw the ball. And he played his first game in a standalone window. And he didn't get a hide behind 6 other games on at the same time as him being shit. That being said, the Texans don't stop the run. Everyone they've played has successfully run the ball on them. Despite how awesome D'Amico and successful, like I'm all in, this could actually be the matchup that Atlanta's been waiting for. I got, because I don't want to step in front of Pat's super lock either.
I don't know if it's going to be my super lock, because I feel like there's something fishy about this line. Like, I'm getting duped here. There's one position on the field that Atlanta is better than Houston right now, and it's the position we all kind of collectively agree doesn't mean shit.
I still think Drake London's probably a better receiver than anyone that Houston has.
Does it matter when you have a guy who can't throw the ball to him?
He's good for 26 yards, and maybe there'll be a touchdown.
I get it. I can't trust Houston only plus 2.5 here on the road. I can't do it.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta at home. I see what everyone sees. But Pittsburgh, like, I know this might be so corny to say, but going back to their travel, getting home from Monday night, and their injuries, they seem like a total dead fish.
But Atlanta from London's not going to feel that way?
And Tim would tell you they got on a plane way earlier than Houston finished playing football, Pat.
Advantage Atlanta.
I think what's happening in Pittsburgh is far more disastrous right now. They're sort of in a tailspin, and thankfully they have a good coach who might be able to pull them up from it.
The storyline that I love.
Actually, that's a bad analogy because they've been having plane issues. I wish I hadn't said that.
The reawakening story that I've enjoyed this week, and I don't even in football, at least and making fun of Atlanta, is Lamar Jackson was there for them. Their cap situation was set up perfectly to go do something like that.
I see. I don't think that's true. I don't think that there was ever a scenario where Baltimore let Lamar go. They were just going to match whatever it was.
Okay, you're right. Maybe that's just like me, like narrative, football, national media talk shows for 2 weeks, and I'm like,
I don't agree. I think in March there were still a lot of bitter feelings, and if someone had offered 2 first-round picks for Lamar, they would have signed that deal.
Yeah, when they put out that first, when they didn't, franchise. You're right, maybe Tim.
He was up for grabs in March. Nobody wanted to pay what was you have to pay 100 cents on the dollar, but if someone was willing to do so, yes, Baltimore would let him go.
So does that mean Atlanta's just going to get Kyler Murray next year?
Maybe.
Or Justin Fields if the Bears take Caleb Williams or something.
I don't think that's like a real sharp move from Atlanta being like,
Okay,
let's get rid of Ridder and get Justin Fields. Maybe they can trade for Zach Wilson to be his backup too.
Okay, as I was saying that, I realized like, that's not what it was in August.
Well, I mean, it's funny because everyone laughed at me, and they turned out to be right, because if they ended up going with Bryce Young, it doesn't feel like it was a very good idea. But when the Bears had the first pick and they ended up trading it, and I think we were talking about it on the show. I was like, do you just try to trade Fields instead and keep the number 1 pick? Now, they might end up with the number 1 and 2 pick in this draft, so it's going to work out for them. But it seems like that conversation's a bit more relevant now that we've seen Fields play again. Turns out just getting a good receiver didn't make him amazing.
There's a lot going on there.
Okay. Have you figured out what's going on with the DC on Rumble yet?
No, I'm not. I don't even know what linked me to goddamn Rumble in the first place, other than I've said.
Put up the photo, Paul. Put it up. I need to see it. It'll cheer me up. Put it up.
Paul just doesn't have these like on command. He has to go like.
I bet he's got this.
He has to go into the folder and then find it and then drag it into ATEM. So he has to put in whatever keyword that he has. I mean, he'll probably have it in less than like 15 seconds. But at the same time, it's not just like it's a button that he presses. If you wanted it queued up,
like a soundboard of pictures.
Yeah, if you wanted it queued up, you could have told him.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he's still switching the cameras at the same time too. Remember, he's a one-man band back there.
I'm very aware of that fact.
It doesn't seem like it because you're calling for drops.
It makes me happy to see that drop. It's my favorite one.
It is my favorite. No, there's a couple. There's a couple really good ones at this point. The Geoff DeMar Hamlin hologram one is very funny.
Oh, well, Geoff must feel awful now that he took a snap and he's back to minus 250. That's it now. That bet's gone, buddy.
Listen, it'll all steam again. Like, how many games can he go?
Well, they're all hurt. Everyone in this Bill secondary is hurt now, so he might actually get some more reps.
Yeah, he's got to play. He's got to get on. He's got to get on the field. Some people, like the real Sharpies, showed me their field tickets and their Hamlin at Pick'em tickets.
Their field.
So maybe I need Hamlin to get back to a Pick'em so I don't feel so stupid. But I wasn't one of them. But the advice was there. He was due it, Pat. Though. You guys are gonna make me put my foot in my goddamn mouth.
You're doing that to yourself. We're not making you.
Okay,
do
fine.
anything,
I want to
Geoff.
say something.
Then say it.
I want to say something. To my understanding, he wasn't just like he didn't play special teams. He played kick-offs. Like kickoffs. And 99% of them go in. I don't think there was a return kick.
I thought he made didn't we see him make the tackle?
I'd see no, but if he made a tackle, it'd have been everywhere. He'd be minus 600 if he made a tackle. And he maybe deserve it. If he deserved it, make a tackle. That's step one. Make a tackle. But like he got to what I say though. He came out the tunnel. The Bills crushed it. That's what they needed. Hamlin playing the game was the Bills' secret weapon. That's when all the pressure started to get to Tua, was just knowing Hamlin was there.
What?
No, it was when Armstead went out. But I just mean like just Hamlin being there in a uniform. Boom. Secret. Magic. They better dress him for the Super Bowl.
Imagine
they'd be crazy not to dress him for the Super Bowl.
Well, that's already after the awards have come in, so that's not really going to affect you anymore.
No, I mean for the Bills, you can't leave that mojo on the sidelines. And part of me actually means what I'm saying when I said they should have dressed him before we found out he was playing versus Miami. Even Paul, all the jokes in the world. I said to Paul before we recorded the show, the Bills are smart. Hamlin plays. Now, maybe it took an injury for him to play, but he played, he dressed, and they wagoned their rival. Coincidence? Nah.
New Orleans and New England is up next. New England's a 1.5 favorite at home against the Saints. Saints might be secret Cust as well after losing to the Bucks. The Bucks 3-1, top of that division, looking very nice at the moment. The Saints are 1-3 against the spread. They're 2-2 against the spread. The Patriots are 1-3 against the spread coming in because they covered. Because they didn't cover week 1 against Philadelphia. That's right. Never mind me. I like the Saints in this game. I think these are like two of very similar teams. And if Christian Gonzalez and Judon are both off the Patriots defense for this game, I mean, then their mediocre defense isn't even like mediocre anymore. Then it's actively bad. So give me the Saints.
Tim, you like this one?
I mean, I'm waiting for you to apologize to me when I said that this Patriots team has every opportunity to get the first pick in the draft.
They don't.
Might be one of the 5 worst teams in football.
They are.
The
Raiders. I'll still take the bet. You don't even bet Patriots versus Raiders, and you want a victory lap something else.
So you really don't think they're one of the worst teams? So, okay, well, go ahead.
No, they're better than the Raiders. Are we betting or not? Because we're a month in, and you still haven't taken the bet, and I've offered it 3 times.
So then you believe that the Patriots would beat the Chargers because the Raiders took you to the gun.
The Chargers play the Patriots this year and will probably lose. Yeah, you'll see it in real life.
Okay, all right, fine. You'll have to yell.
Well, you're looking for credit.
I think they deserve some.
For what? You didn't take his bet, and you still won't
Geoff
take
went
it
on
now.
and on about how well
The Patriots lost to the Dolphins, the Eagles, the Cowboys. When they play in their weight class, they'll be fine, and they'll have so many more wins than this bottom 4 in the league.
Okay, well, this is their weight class, and they're going to lose this game.
You want to bet this one then?
I'll take the Saints.
So let's bet it.
Okay, we'll talk about that then.
No, you always want to talk about it and never do it.
Well, because I'm not prepared off the cuff to do those sorts of things.
20, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250? Like, what do you mean prepared? Pick a number.
I don't know. We'll do 50.
50.
Yeah,
Patriots.
sure.
I'll
Money
make it
line
my super lock maybe just because of it.
seems
Paul,
reasonable.
what were you going to say?
Tim comes on here and complains about how long the show goes, and then he, instead of breaking down the game, he just like grifts for credit. That's what I take away.
He's a
from
credit
this whole
grifter.
exchange.
You could name 5 worse teams than the Patriots, too. I promise you.
I'm not so sure that I could.
The Giants, the Bears, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Panthers, the Falcons, the
No,
Bengals,
I would take
the Jets.
Several of those teams. No, I would take several of those Jets. I mean, yeah, they did beat the Jets and just couldn't play, but
I mean, that's
like, that- they're-
that's the Jets team. You realize that, right? It's not the fake team that you have in your head.
no, but like they're like no. Well, look, I would take the Falcons over the Patriots. I would certainly take the Bengals.
You know what? When you
I would take
consider who the Patriots have played, like what's their current win total? Maybe I'll bet that too. I'll double down.
I don't think you want.
They probably had the hardest schedule in the league.
Yeah, but it doesn't get easier.
What
It
is
gets harder.
What do you know?
Yeah, they haven't played
'cause
Buffalo.
they're-
They haven't played Buffalo, or I guess they played Miami once, but they haven't played Buffalo yet.
They have Philadelphia on the.
They already played Philadelphia.
Or they have. I know they have the hardest schedule in football. They still have a ton of hard.
Well, probably
games
because they played in the first 3 weeks. They played Philadelphia, Dallas, and Miami.
They'll win in their weight class, which will keep them way out of a top 5 pick, which is unfortunate for Patriot fans because you probably just want the top 5 pick.
Yeah, that would be the move here to actually tank the season.
I think they should. They certainly have the lack of talent and the poor coaching to do it.
Oy, oy, oy.
If they lose this week, I think all hell breaks loose.
Maybe, but I don't think anyone's expecting them to be good at this point. Like, this is a team that's very similar to them. They both kind of suck offensively. They're pretty good defensively. I did notice that the Patriots have the worst special teams in the league. That is shocking to me.
Yeah, this is not the Patriots of old who are well coached and did all the right things. Like the old man is old. All he does is appoint people that he knows. When was the last time he took a risk with anyone that he hasn't heard of? Like the coaching staff is bad. The talent is poor. The players are injured. Quarterback's bad. It's a bad team. And the Patriots have very little to hope for. It's also, if you're a Patriots fan, the future looks pretty bleak too. It's not going to get better.
The Saints signed Derek Carr to improve their offense. It's literally the same shit offense it's been for 2 straight years.
It's true. It's true. But the difference is, I mean, if you had to ask one quarterback, Geoff, right now, you're down 4, you need a touchdown, or it's a tie game, you need to rally to get into field goal range. Would you rather have Derek Carr or Matt Cust? I mean, his name is Matt Cust. Like, that's a problem.
There you have it.
Yeah. Sure.
But other than that, like, what's the difference between these teams outside of quarterback? Like, Derek Carr's marginally better than Mac Jones.
Derek Carr was benched last year. If it was he's good. He's bad enough to be benched again. So, but yeah, I'm spinning my wheels. Yes, you're right. Carr's better than Jones.
So I'll take the points on the road with the Saints. And they let a lot of people down last week. A lot of people had them against Tampa Bay. They were not Baker believers, unlike myself. But here we are. Oh my God, the Giants in Miami. Ooh, is this even gonna?
You like the Lions more than Miami for a super lock, obviously. I mean, no super lock, Survivor.
Yeah, I think so. Just because I'll get Miami. You know what? I'll get Detroit against. Oh no, Chicago will play Detroit in some sort of like wonky game. I'll have to look more at the schedules because I'm just making these picks off the cuff here on the show, just firing from the hip. And Detroit was the first thing that jumped out to me because I forgot that this game was happening. But yeah, this one probably kind of works. I think that Daniel Jones has a rebound game here, so maybe they can cover that. You know what? I will take the Giants against the spread. I will take the plus 11 for the New York Giants on the short week because I don't think it can be as bad as it was on Monday night. Like that was that the worst performance of the year? And they're 0-4 against the spread. Geoff, you know this. No one... This flips at some point. It was just like Atlanta last year. I think they were like 5-0 ATS, then all of a sudden they were 5-5. This starts going the other way. Who the hell is going to bet on New York this week?
Yeah, that was one of the worst things we've ever seen. You watch that, like, do these guys, what do they do during the week? Do they practice? Miami against a bad team looks like they'd be able to just move the football. I don't know why Miami won't be able to move the football. This is zero real life money, but I'll lay 11 points if I'll top of my head with Miami over this Giants team just because my eyeballs say so. Last week, the obvious, maybe squarest play of the day, because like my uncle's like traveling all through Europe. I get a text to bet the Dolphins. Like at that moment, I just knew the squareness of the Dolphins last week had leveled up.
And this could be a nice spot to probably bet against the Dolphins next week, whoever they're playing, if they do absolutely just pound the Giants. But Tim, when we did the Sunday night show, what was the spread in this game? Like 8.5, 9?
I believe so. You know how bad last night was? I made a note of this while I was watching. It was 21-3 in the third quarter, and Buck and Aitman were treating it like it was 45-0. They were bringing out the old, like, break glass in case of a blowout situation. They're like chatting about the San Francisco-Dallas game this week. And like, I'd never seen that before in a game that was only 21-3. Like, yeah, that's a couple of scores, but like, this is not that 40-0 game that week one was. Like, I was like, they know that there's absolutely nothing that could happen in this game that could help New York. And I was like, that's very interesting that they knew enough to give up. The Panthers have the good fortunes of coming to South Beach next week.
Oh, yeah.
This might be a really unfair thing to say, but if you're betting the Giants, you just believe in their ability to cash the back door.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I agree.
That is the entire thing. I think that Daniel Jones could potentially do that because I have not been seeing basically Miami get into any sort of backfield with consistent basis whatsoever. And like, even if you just throw little lobs up over them, the secondary is absolutely putrid. Like, this defense might be terrible.
So when
Yeah, but they could get guys back. Like if Jalen Phillips, not Ramsey's probably quite a ways away, but I feel like Jalen Phillips could be back any week, and then they become a wrecking crew on the front again.
Do they become a wrecking crew on the front? Like, they're the 29th ranked
versus
defense.
this line.
Sure.
Line.
I mean, Seattle was able to do it, and Seattle's like no great shakes. I understand that on the defensive side of the ball. They're like slightly above average, but Miami's been actively bad on defense.
Yeah, no, I don't mean the Dolphins I just mean in this specific game against this specific line in this specific moment. If Jalen Phillips comes back, he's 5 times better than anyone the Seahawks had rushing the passer last night.
Yeah, but the worst offense against the Dolphins defense doesn't matter. I'll take the Dolphins and crush them.
Yeah, I'll just take the Giants based on 0-4 against the spread. This number has gone up like 2.5 points based on what happened on Monday night. Oh, it's most definitely going to go up. If I was actually going to bet this, I'd wait till it gets to... It'll get to, I think, 13, and then it'll come back down. People will bet it at 13, I think.
Yeah, because the guys with 9 are going to come back in on the 13.
Oh, for sure. I mean, this is no different than when I took the Jets on Sunday night last night. Although I had such a great day gambling on Sunday, Geoff. Hitting the same game parlays, all my big bets. I hit a teaser. I never play teasers. Played
Ryder Cup, you did well.
Ryder Cup, Europe I forgot about that money from like 3 months ago, and boom, that's in the account. And then Garrett Wilson. All I needed was Garrett Wilson to have under 4.5 receptions. He had 7, and then I would have hit like another $2,000 on that. But just the Run the Sims prop sniper just telling me that the best bets in the world this week were Lawrence overs in terms of rushing and Jarek unders in terms of rushing, and just having those two things together and individually propped everything up. So I turned around on Monday night and I was like, hey, let's play a big same game parlay here. I actually tweeted it out because I tweeted out some like Daniel Jones over rushing ladders because I had the over of his like normal rushing, but I had him like over 75 yards, over 100 yards. If he had stayed in the game, he may have gotten there. But I had a 6-banger same game parlay for 22-1 that had under 8.5 Gary Brightwell receiving yards, and he got a fucking garbage time reception at the end when no one tried to tackle him. It was horrible.
That sucks. Sorry, I'm just battling injury.
What are you doing? You okay?
Fasci,
You have plantar fasciitis?
Yeah, I'm rolling like a frozen water bottle under the desk here on my foot. It is just it's killing me.
You need to go to the physio clinic and go get some shockwave done, and boom, break that shit up immediately.
Oh,
Let's see your foot.
Now we don't.
I'm
wanna
not.
see it up on
I'm
the
not
table.
that flexible.
J-
Everything is.
Geoff is saving that for OnlyFans.
Tim's a
Paul.
doctor. He'll help you out.
The game of the week. Indy, favored by a point against the Titans. Colts are at home. This is a very interesting matchup for division rivals. Do you think it's unfair, Tim, that the Colts are only 1-point favorites here at home?
Unfair? No. I mean, I think this is the right line. The Titans are a slightly better team,
Are they?
in my opinion. I think so. I think they're
The
slightly.
books. The books are just keeping the Titans underdogs to take all that Vrabel money.
Maybe. Defense is still playing excellently. No, the Colts are not bad at anything. It's an interesting game. This is their first look at Richardson to see. I think Vrabel will have a pretty good defense lined up for them. I'm interested to see how this game goes. I lean towards the Titans, but I'm not 100% sold on it.
Yeah, Titans as an underdog, usually a good thing. Geoff, I don't know. I think that Phony Tony can, as long as he doesn't get a concussion in this game, I think he's going to be a real problem for what the Titans defense does well. Like, it's going to be trouble for Zach Moss in this game running between the tackles. But you start getting some RPO on the go, and Anthony Richardson can hit the outside. I don't know if the Titans defense is equipped for that. Maybe they are, but this is just a different look than the normal shutdown run defense that we're normally seeing from them.
Yeah, and Richardson's so elusive. Maybe he can combat like Autry and Simmons, who have shown to be maybe like something outside of Cleveland, the most dominant defensive line tandem outside of Cleveland. I'm sure people in Philly or other places are going to yell at me for that. But, I'm just putting Aaron Autry and Simmons tires. I have no clue. I don't know. If I sit on the fence a lot, I apologize. This is one I have no clue. Like, if you told me my money was on one side, I'd accept that. If you told me it was on the other side, I'd accept it. Titans, but I have no confidence. Zero confidence Titans pick.
I like Indy, mainly because they're actually blocking pretty well for Richardson right now. That's been such a key part. I mean, you witnessed it against the Chargers. Like, you can pass all over the Titans if you can buy the time to actually pass against them. Like, trying to run against them is a non-starter. They have the second best run defense in the league. They have a bottom 5 pass defense. So if Richardson can buy himself time, there's just going to be dudes open down the field. I think that this is going to be the game that we see. We've seen the rushing from Richardson so far, like the 2 TDs in one game, 4 rushing touchdowns in 3 starts that he's had. We haven't seen a big passing game from him yet. I think that this could be the week where it's like, oh shit, Anthony Richardson threw for 320 yards against the Titans, and they won 28-27. I guess that would be a push. 28-26. How about that? And the Colts cover the spread.
Love Richardson. If that happens, I'm here for it. I don't have a clue.
Okay. Brings us to the midway point of the show, which means it's time for a mini version of Cust Corner.
Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. He's got the hottest takes with the highest stakes. He should be president of the United States, but it's Cust Corner, it's Cust Corner. Cust Corner,
So it's opening day. And I want to wish a happy opening day to all those who are participating.
I'm
in
participating.
the contest. Yes, I saw that you're participating.
They put my drive-through order number over one of the stickers to make it hard to pull off.
That's a little annoying. I see Jeffrey has also played.
No, I haven't played yet, but I got I didn't know if we were doing live polls.
Yeah,
We should do live polls.
We are, because I got Paul a Diet Coke as well, so he has some pulls to do as well on his.
So I've already won big today. I already won 4,000 points in a poll, which is awesome. I got some properties. I won a free small coffee. And so the way it works this year with the app is that not only do you have and you have to play the normal physical way with your properties, and that's how you redeem stuff, but there's a second chance part. It's called the double play. And essentially, what you do is you punch in your code on the piece into the app, into the spot where it goes, and you get a second chance to play. Now, every one of them so far for me was a chance to put your name into a draw. But here's the really cool part, is that there's like 7 or 8 different draws, and you get to pick which draw you want your name added into. So you got to do a little bit of game theory. You think, like, which ones will people most put their names in? Probably the one for the truck, or for the HBC $2,000 gift card. So I think the strategy, at least this is my strategy, is to apply for the lower ones with a better chance of hitting big rather than going for the high, because I just would rather be one of 100,000 names being drawn than one out of 5 million names being drawn. And if you can't decide which one to be in, they even have a randomizer button that you can choose to randomly automate where your ballot goes. And so it's a lot of fun, and I won this morning, and I'm on a heater, and I'm kind of wondering, I really promised myself and others I wasn't going to do 2-a-days. But I kind of feel like here on opening day, since I'm on a heater, I was being egged on in our group chat to, like, how can you let a heater go? Who walks away from the table after hitting blackjack 3 times in a row? I really feel like I should double up and go again.
What does 4,000 McDonald's points actually get you?
It gets you like a burger, get you like a hot drink.
I can tell you right now. No.
It's the equivalent, like
large fries. That seems to be the best item you can get.
So far, you've won a large fries and you've won a small coffee, or you?
So you won $5.
It's Geoff will tell you 4,000 points is the equivalent of like 6 or 7 trips through.
I don't know that.
Okay, well that's what it is. It's the equivalent of like 6 or 7 trips worth of points that you've been given. So that's a pretty sweet hit. I'll take that.
Pat, what that is he gets a large fry. That's just 2 more pulls for free.
That's exactly it.
The fries in the garbage. Not give them to someone in the store. Not give them to a homeless person. Just dump them.
That's a free pull, is what that is.
Free spins. Cust is winning free spins over here. It's like when he has his scratchers and then he gets a free ticket of it. Just means he can go back and keep scratching again. So yeah, it doesn't seem like you won big. I'm not going to lie to you at all.
And this year on the app, they're posting the names of people who are winning the prizes.
So
now if I win prizes, I'll get my name there.
Okay, so this came up earlier on, and I think I actually tweeted this out, Geoff. I don't know if you saw it or not. He tweeted out, or he texted us that he was jealous of this guy who was a big winner on the app, and the guy won $20 at photo prints plus a promo code. I don't even know what that is. And I definitely know that Tim doesn't know what that is.
Well, it looks like you put photos on like stuff with it. But either way, I want it. I want to win.
You want it? I guarantee you have to put in your credit card in order to claim this prize.
I don't know that I do have to do that.
You do. In order to get the photo prints, I guarantee you do.
Well, neither here. Honestly, I just would like to have my name up there so people can see I'm the big winner. More than anything else.
Like just like Craig B. from Grand Falls, Windsor, Newfoundland?
Yes.
This was at This was at 8 o'clock in the morning you sent this to us.
Yeah, it was the breakfast rush, opening day breakfast rush. Basically, I was Arnold Palmer today, hitting that inaugural tee shot. Actually, that guy was, because he won before I got to play. But I was getting things started. I had to go. I went this morning because I had to get something. And I'm a little nervous opening day because do they have all this stuff ready to roll? Are you going to get a hash brown without the sticker on it? Because they don't know yet. And as I think we've talked about, I don't know if you have in the show or not, whether we've just talked about it in our group. The hash brown is one of the plus EV plays for this competition because you get full pulls on those, and they're like the cheapest thing that you can buy for a full pull.
Isn't coffee the cheapest thing you can buy for full pull?
No, no, because there's no dollar coffees right now. I think it's hash browns, but coffees are close. And I was right, by the way,
is the best.
I was right, by the way. All those coupes that were out there, they all expired yesterday. You're such
a savant.
Thank you. I sniffed it out like
because
a pig.
Pat, for 5 months, he tweets at McDonald's Canada, replies to whatever their promotional tweets are, asking them when this is starting. No one ever tells him, and he's got his own way of sifting through, knowing their coupon schedules to know when it starts. He's incredible.
I want to know. I need to get prepared.
Prepared
Like,
for what?
Last week,
Eating?
this may sound crazy, but last week I did what I like to call the farewell lap. In that I went to places that weren't McDonald's for like a week, knowing that I can't go to any of
Do
them.
you eat
next
healthier
month.
knowing you're pulling 2-a-days for 2 weeks?
Well, no, I'm not doing 2-a-days for a month. That is not happening.
But you just said you were going to. There's a 100% there's a 100% chance you're going to McDonald's the moment we stop recording.
Maybe today, but like not every day. But no, I did like a farewell lap last week of like going to places I can't go to for the next month because there's no stickers there. Like I said goodbye to Wendy's. I said goodbye to Subway. I said goodbye to A&W.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I did like the farewell lap. It's like I won't be having you for a while.
Even for a fat guy, this sounds like me. Like this sounds really pathetic.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It absolutely sounds pathetic.
Yes, it does. No,
Paul.
it does. You're so.
Paul, yes, you have something to say?
So when Tim said this morning that he was going for coffee to break it out, like how many hash browns did you tag onto that? Because it is so plus EV.
I got 2 hash browns.
Oh, so it wasn't just because you're not even telling us the whole. How can we believe you with anything?
And
Well,
he's
you
scooping
obviously
some
had to be able to
hash
figure
browns
that
every
out.
Single day this month, you know it.
You had to figure that out when I said that I had 1 properties in addition to the things I showed you. Like the math doesn't add up.
So you're eating 60 hash browns this month.
No, I'm not. Today I had 2 hash browns and a coffee, which is not that much, by the way. That's your breakfast. It's not that much.
Yeah, but you're gonna do it tomorrow and the day after and the day after.
No, I'm not going to do it every single day.
Not every single day? So here's what he told us this morning, Geoff. He said, I'm certainly won't be doing 2-a-days. So now he's already talking about 2-a-days later on this evening, for one thing.
Because you were pushing, you and our friend were basically egging me on to do it.
All I said was imagine stopping during the middle of a heater. And you said,
I am on a heater.
And you said, quote, I already had this exact same thought. I nearly went through the drive-thru a second time when I saw that I won.
I did. I almost, because I almost, when I got out of the drive-thru, of course I had to pull right away to see where I was. And when I saw I had won big, and there was nobody really in line, I honest to God considered whipping through a second time. But then I just thought that would be extremely awkward and uncomfortable for me to like order from the box again with the same person and having to deal with the judgment that would come from that person seeing me whip through the drive-thru for twice in like 5 minutes. And I just was too self-conscious to do that.
I so hope one of your like friends wins and you have to see it on the app.
Honestly, I would be fired up for them.
Would you?
If someone I know wins big, I'd be very excited. I like when my friends succeed. I'd be very happy for them. Good for them.
But they'd be stealing all your credit.
Yeah, but you would know because you'd be like, I've gone 15 times. Buddy goes once and he's got his name on the board.
That's how it works, though, right? You know, we all saw Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The people who buy all those chocolate bars don't win, and the kid that buys the one wins. Like, that's the way of the world.
You know,
all I know is
hold on.
I've already won.
You know that's not a documentary, right?
Yes, I'm aware. My only point really is the thrill of the chase and this new addition to the double play is a lot of fun. Now, most importantly, I want to see the polls. Let me see what you got.
Oh, I think we should pull it, not even show them, Geoff.
No. Let me know what you got.
Boardwalk.
Okay, you know,
Is that still the best one?
Oh, they're all places in Canada, so there is no boardwalk.
There's no boardwalks in Canada?
Well, there are, but boardwalk is not on there's no U.S. monopoly properties on the board.
Okay, I didn't get an Insta winner. I have Algonquin Park. It's a
That's a yellow one.
It's a yellow property. I could potentially win a snowblower. Like I shovel my own driveway. How poor.
Yeah, well, look, if people had heated driveways, you know.
Why don't you get your parents a heated driveway for Christmas? That seems very nice.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Why? Why aren't you going to do that? It seems like they deserve to do it. They're getting older now.
Yeah.
2,000 points.
2,000 points. Sick.
Banff Island.
Baffin Island.
Signal Hill.
Yeah, that's orange.
I like you know the whole board day one.
Yeah,
Miles
Miles Canyon is red.
It's purpley red, a pinky red.
Yeah, like that magenta red. Yeah.
I have Peggy's Cove.
Not my first. Peggy's Cove is orange.
Yes. Does that include the black rocks at Peggy's Cove that tourists like to walk on and die on?
People are so dumb.
Paul,
Don't go on those
Paul,
rocks.
all
people.
your friends, when they come into town to see you, and you're new to the East Coast and out here, and like Peggy's Cove is about 45 minutes away from here. You got to tell the people don't go on the Black Rocks.
They always ask me like if I want to go, and I'm like, I've went like 3 times. It's literally just a pile of rocks.
That
like,
sucks.
It's a
it's
little
like an hour
better
and
now
a
that they
half
put
to get
that
down
new.
there on like windy roads. Like, yeah, you get.
They have
over
the
it
new
real,
observation
real
platform,
fast.
so it's a little nicer than it was. But yeah,
How
once is
often are
enough.
you going to Peggy's Cove? Doing
Not often.
I was gonna say, it seems like you know exactly what's going on down there. Like I haven't been there.
I went
since
there to check it out once.
I
I
think
went to check it out when they built the new platform like 2 years ago.
That was that was a real big deal. You had to go see it.
I was like, I hadn't been there in a dog's age, so I was like, I'll try it out. So now, save your coupons because that digit code at the bottom is what you'll plug into the app to get your double play, and it'll also digitally create your board for you as well if you'd like.
Oh my god, you must be in heaven on the app.
Oh yeah, I love it. This is like the only app I know how to use, right?
Well,
And the fact that
hold on. How did you
app
figure
doesn't
out?
bother-
How did you figure out how to use this app?
I've had this app for 3 or 4 years
Okay, but how did you figure out how to use it? By using
because
it?
when COVID hit,
was
I
it
had
by?
nothing.
Hold on. I don't care about COVID. I don't care how you got the app. How did you figure out how to use it?
Well, I just had it, and it's just buttons that you push on the app.
Now, what do you think is different between this app and all other apps?
Oh, this app doesn't require any of my personal information outside of my name and my
You
email.
need payment information.
Well, I don't pay with this app.
You
No.
don't even
No.
You don't order off the app.
I don't order off the app. I order through the drive-through when they, and then
My god!
as soon as you go through the drive-through, they say to you, "Do you have a McDonald's number?" Obviously, lots of people are doing this, Jeff.
Do you have it
Wouldn't ask
memorized?
the question.
Tell me you have it memorized.
No, it's a different number every time.
Oh.
It's a different 4-digit code every time you go through. You don't think I would have a 4-digit number memorized if it was the same number every time? Please.
I don't know. You can't make
no.
a phone call.
Anyway, so they ask you that every time you go through the drive-through, and I say yes, and I give them my code, whatever it is, and then it just automatically uploads on your app like magic.
Do you think it's actually magic?
Like there's no scanning involved or any of that QR stuff. Like I just tell them my number, and it just gets uploaded to the app. It's super user friendly so people like me can use it.
You realize
And this is a lot of fun.
all apps are designed to be super user friendly. It's like why old people use iPads because they're super user friendly. They're not complicated.
Well-
apps aren't complicated.
This one certainly isn't, and this seems like it's going to be the best year ever. There are so many hot prizes out there.
Him.
You-
What are
Well-
the hot prizes? Hold on. What are the hot prizes?
Well, as I mentioned, there's a truck. There is a $10,000 either gift for yourself or gift you can give to the Ronald McDonald Charity House in your name.
So what would you get for yourself?
Pardon me?
What would you get for yourself?
Oh, I would give the money to charity
No, you
if I
wouldn't.
wanted.
No,
That's
you
the option. No, you have the option of either taking the money or letting them have it. Like
So
the
you
briefcase.
would take the money.
I'd give it to the charity.
Why do you have hold on? I don't understand. I don't understand why anyone would give the money. The money is yours. McDonald's can fucking donate with their billions of dollars. Why do they have to take your money that you won to donate it?
I'd feel good about that. What else? There is, you get a year of Paramount Plus, which on my app is CBS All Access, but it's the same thing. There are Skip the Dishes cards, and I wouldn't use that. Michael's gift cards, and I wouldn't use that. Vacation, you can win a vacation. You can get RBC Hudson's Bay gift cards. There's cash prizes. There's an adventure stroller wagon. Well, don't need that. Camping package that I could use. That comes with the stove and the tent and the cooler and everything.
Oh, hold on a minute. Would that be like for you to give as a gift to someone so you wouldn't
No,
have to
if
use
I
it?
are you kidding me? I would love nothing more than to pitch my tent and have my little campsite, and when people walk by, let them know I want it for free off of McDonald's.
On your front lawn?
I
No,
am,
like if I work
I
for-
am pitching a tent right now, thinking about filming this as we go out. You camping by yourself. This is great. Let's do it.
Oh, I would do it for the day just so that I could tell people that everything you see on this campsite, I won playing McDonald's Monopoly.
What do you mean campsite?
People don't walk by
we're
and be
real
like,
camping.
"Hey, where did you get your tent from?"
I would tell them, hey, you like this tent? I want it for free.
Tim, can I give you my credit card to put on your McDonald's account just so I could see the purchases?
I can tell you the purchases if you really want to know.
But I don't understand why you don't buy through the app.
No, I don't buy through the app. I drove through the drive-thru. Why would I buy through the app, Jeff?
Because it's the most convenient thing possible.
But I also don't know what I want till I get there.
What do you mean you don't know what you want?
Well, particularly now, all the things I usually get are not stickery.
Yeah, but you know what has stickers, you know what doesn't, and you realize on the app and you look at the menu. It's the same as looking at the board, right?
Whatever. I just order when I get there. It's easier.
It doesn't seem like it's easier. It seems like it takes longer. And
Why would I want to...
you would get the special VIP privilege once you order off the app of cutting the line when you walk in.
Well, but see, I have no interest in doing that.
Why? You'd rather
Also,
wait in the line?
It also pegs me into which McDonald's I have to go to. Whereas when I leave the house, I don't know which one I'm going to right away.
Not the one
That is
next
the
to your house?
creepiest thing I've ever heard.
The one
No.
2 minutes from your front door?
There's another one that's like 6 minutes, and another one that's like 12 minutes, and another one that's like 14 minutes. And I think you gotta spread the wealth. Particularly in a contest like this, you can't just go to one spot only. Because what if your spot is a dud?
What if it's not? What if it just continues? It's like that one slot machine, just pumping out winners.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll figure it out by seeing who's doing all the winning.
Paul, what properties did you get on your poll?
Yeah, what'd you get, Paul?
I gave them to you.
Did you?
Yeah, they're probably underneath like your book.
Yeah, they're right here.
Yeah.
Montreal Airport. Oh, Trudeau Airport. He doesn't speak for me, Tim. And Peggy's Cove again. We already got dupes.
Oh, wow, already dupes. But again, put them into the app.
No. I'm not fucking doing
Yes.
that. I don't care.
Keep it for me then. I'll be there on...
comments that were like, oh, I think like Monopoly's only a big thing in Canada. No. It's only a big thing for Tim.
Yes.
The rest of us actually don't care.
About
this.
That's why we
That's
why we keep making it a segment, because it's just weird.
What are you talking about? It's a huge deal. Like people...
No one else was there this morning just because of pieces.
You know what? That is absolutely not true. I got a call today from somebody saying to me that they went through the drive-thru at McDonald's on purpose to get their coffee and will save me their stickers.
Who was it?
My father. He gets it. He gets it. He knows how serious I take this time of year.
Yeah, he's your father. He's doing it to support you. It doesn't sound like he would just be doing it.
And he switches to McDonald's for the month for his coffee just to get the stickers.
And all you do is root against his football team.
When it's convenient for me.
Which is all the time?
No, well, it wasn't 2 weeks ago when they played Denver, to be fair.
And he's going out of his way to get you stickers. And you're like, fuck the Dolphins, Dad. Thanks for being so nice.
That's how I feel about the Dolphins. I can't apologize. The other thing I've decided this year is I've set my sights too big on trying to win one of the big mega prizes. I think I'll have more success if I focus on winning one of the smaller...
You said this already, dude.
Oh, yeah. Did I? I don't remember. I'm so excited. I don't know what I've said. Sorry.
So how many times have you gone to McDonald's today?
Just once.
No,
just
we don't believe you. Paul just instantly from behind the camera lies. Paul's onto you.
It's just once. It is almost certain to be twice today.
Okay, but how much are you ordering? How many stickers are you getting? Like, you're getting dinner for two, right?
Well, they don't have that app right now. But
I mean, you're still going to buy dinner for two.
You know,
is that combo meal number 69?
Can you order McDonald's over the phone?
No. I mean, I'll order a meal and I'll add something to it to get an extra set of stickers. Like I might buy an extra DC or something to go with the meal.
How much money have you put aside this year for McDonald's?
I knew you're gonna ask this question, and I've decided I'm not gonna worry about that.
Wow,
it's just easier that way.
What was the number that it's like you like? What was the number was so high that you're like, I'd rather not think about it. So what number did you want to stop thinking of that?
Yeah, if it exceeds 500, at that point it becomes a little ludicrous.
You budgeted $1,000 for it last year.
Yeah, but I didn't come close.
But you started a week late.
Yeah, but I still didn't come close, Jeff. I think it was like $340 last year.
What if we started a GoFundMe for you that people could donate to your quest
No,
to get
I
as
don't want
many
that.
stickers as possible? But the caveat is, like that movie, Super Size Me, that you actually had to eat all the food too.
So it's like a mixture of Brewster's Millions and Super Size Me?
Exactly. But starring you.
No, I don't want that. I don't need that. Look, there may be stretches of days I don't go at all.
Wrong.
I've decided I'm not going to be obsessed about it.
Wrong.
Like, I'm going to go when I go, and I'm not going to go when I'm not going to go.
Wrong.
And I'm not going to let it dominate my
But
life.
you go
But
like after the gym now, right? This is what it does to you. Like you leave the gym and go to McDonald's.
that has happened because they're adjacent.
That
Not
is
my fault.
that is something that McDonald's do. They enjoy having. It was just like that Simpsons episode where Bart went and just ate the ice cream outside of the gym, licking it in front of the treadmill, in front of the people. Like, they can tempt you, and they know that you do. There are people. I know it for sure because you've mentioned this before, and I don't think it's just you. I think this is something you actually do have in common with a lot of people, that the reward for a good workout is to undo all the work you just did.
Oh, I've done that many times.
Yeah, I don't think you're alone on that. I think that's pretty common, actually.
Yeah, like that's a reward.
What
So,
you
if-
need to do, if you're gonna do that, and I think it depends on what you go and do. Like if you are going on a 10-mile run or something like that, maybe you want to have like your carbs like an hour beforehand at McDonald's, then go burn them off. Let that give you the energy to stay through the run. Or if you go and lift, you can go and lift and take. Are you still using that pre-workout that our friend gave us that almost made your heart explode?
The pre-workout? No. So he gave me this pre-workout stuff to take before I go to the gym. And I was vibrating when I would park my car. Like my hands were shaking as if I had had 15 cups of espresso. And I drink a lot of caffeine. I was like so wired when I drank that stuff that I could have run through a wall. That's how wired that stuff. No, I felt like that stuff was going to give me heart failure. So I stopped taking it.
That was probably a wise decision. Either way, you take your pre-workout or don't take anything and you go and lift and you get a good lift in. Then you go to McDonald's afterwards for the reward. But instead of getting fries, don't get fries. Just order, I don't know, whatever your favorite sandwich is there. What is your favorite sandwich at McDonald's?
Well, my favorite one that can win a prize
Sure.
is the quarter pounder.
All right. So how many patties are on a quarter pounder? 2?
One.
Is just one on a quarter
big
pounder?
One big one. Yes,
One big one? So order like 3 of those, get your stickers for 3 of them, chuck the buns, and just make it like a triple burger. And then you're not eating as much bread. And then you're getting that
That's actually
protein from the workout.
A really smart idea. I like this.
That way you get your protein to help you recover your muscles from the big lift, but you're not getting all the extra stuff on top of it. But you're still getting more stickers.
I like it. I'm on board. This is great. This is a good health segment.
There you go. Healthy tips with Pat about going to maximize your sticks and cut down on your carbs during McDonald's Monopoly.
how do you balance? Yeah, how do you balance the sticks and the working out all in one?
I mean, you could tell them that you don't want. Did they do that at McDonald's? You could tell them you don't want the bread.
Oh, they don't care. Of
You just
course,
want-
you can
On
order
the
that.
app, you could order it that way.
Yeah, Paul.
Or on the kiosk
Paul,
inside.
you have celiac, so you can't eat the buns at McDonald's, right?
Yeah, no, you can. They're pretty good about it.
What do they give you? Lettuce instead?
Like on the machines, you can go no bun.
What comes
you
with
can
no
tell
bun,
them
though?
No bun, or you can order it online with no bun. Like, it's
What
pretty
comes in place of no bun?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, I guess not a piece of
So
lettuce
it's
like
just like
something.
a burger without bread.
So even better, just go do that. Just order 3 of those.
I think this is a great idea as long as they give me my stickers.
Yeah, I would assume that they would.
Yeah, I'd be concerned they might wrap all 3 patties together in one box.
No, that's not how McDonald's does it, man.
Okay, they better not because I'd have to go back in and it would be a scene.
I
Don't
think
you
it'd be
have
a scene.
friends
I think
behind
that-
the counter?
I
They're
think-
there all the time.
Yeah.
Not
It
their
could be
fault.
a scene because they tend to put like the burger without bun in this like different tray.
Well,
Yeah.
just tell them. You go to the drive-thru.
like,
You're
I
not
need
ordering
the-
from the app. You tell them what you want. You're like, hey, I still want my stickers for ordering the quarter pounder.
Okay. Just feels like I don't
Put
want to
them
have
in these
to
like
eat.
little trays that could be problematic.
Yeah, but if you tell them,
Yeah.
Like, it's Monopoly season, pal. Figure it out.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean that's literally the only reason I'm there. I could choose anywhere else.
There you go. So go do that after the gym. Get your protein in.
You say that as if you're not there all the time.
No, but there are other. No, I'm not there all the time. I'll go weeks without going there, bud. Because there's other options. Like I don't have to go there.
I don't want the show to be 3 hours. Also, I want to talk about McDonald's Monopoly for 45 minutes.
Oh, look, was there any doubt what we were going to talk about today?
It's opening
Was
day.
there any?
It's okay. The Chargers aren't playing. You got time to kill.
Yeah,
It's true.
I mean,
We'll still finish in under 2 hours now.
yeah, you both brought props, knowing without me talking to you in advance, knowing what today's topic.
No, you
had to
did
be
talk
about.
to us in advance. You told me specifically last week today was opening day.
Oh, well, yes, you knew today was opening day, but I didn't say that's going to be the corner topic today. You just knew.
Yeah, man. I just took a wild guess.
I'm just excited. Like, this might be the best year ever for the game. Like it was always the best game going, but these new changes they made have actually made it really wicked, and I'm super excited.
Made it really wicked? Who are you, my aunt? She's like 50 and still rocks out. Things are wick and wicked. Listen to you. Wicked.
You know what? Those glasses starting to look like some of Jeff's Rumble friends.
I do. I mean, no, they have like the Jeff's Rumble friends prefer to have like the 1997 center fielder for the Miami Marlins than the Florida Marlins glasses, like the ones that kind of drop down like this, but are also angled at the same time.
Yes, they do.
They also enjoy hats, and you know who doesn't enjoy a hat? Pat Mayo.
Oh my goodness.
Late set of games. Cincinnati at Arizona. This line has dropped all the way down to +3. This was +5 when we did it on the show. I still like the Cardinals in this game, Tim. I do too. I have no faith in the Bengals.
I think the Bengals should not be favored in the game. You know that. I think Arizona's on the short list too, because I think right now, given that Burrow really can't play and the Bengals can't move the ball, and the one game they won, it was like pretty dicey. I think that Arizona's the play here.
Do you think, Geoff, that people are going to line up to bet Arizona based on what we've seen from Cincinnati? Or is it still, hey, Joe Burrow is still their quarterback. Arizona is still one of the worst teams in football. Although by the numbers, that's actually not the case. They've actually been quite good. That people will just line up to bet on Cincinnati at a short number because this worked against the Rams?
It's a tough one. I mean, a month, you would like to think a month of actual football would show you that the Cardinals aren't who they are. I'm blindly taking the Bengals here, though. Like, I don't believe we're there yet, but I'm thoroughly impressed with Jonathan Gannon, and what a dream, like for Arizona to be ultra competitive, but still keep themselves in that top pick area would be great, I guess, for them. Kind of the best of both worlds.
Through 4 weeks, Arizona has one of the best offenses in football.
They sure do. Josh Dobbs is playing great.
Would the Jets be undefeated if they had Josh Dobbs?
No, but would they be 2-2 at least? Yep, probably 3-1. They would have won the Patriots game, really, no question. And would they have won last week? Questionable.
Probably.
They've been in 3 of their 4 games. They only got blown out once, and the one game they got blown out in the fourth quarter. Like, they're bad, but the other teams are worse.
Eagles and Rams. Eagles are favored by 4 on the road. Stafford has a hip problem, but it looks like he's going to play, so no problems there. Do we know if Cooper Kupp is going to play?
We don't.
I don't believe we know.
The latest I saw, I didn't see anything either.
I want no part of the Rams if Stafford's not 100%, and there's no way he can be 100%. But I would have liked the Rams in this spot, actually. I have to take the Eagles here. And given that there are no fans of any of the Los Angeles teams, there'll probably be 1 million Philadelphia Eagle fans in the crowd at SoFi. So all the more reason to back the Eagles here.
I'm actually going to take the Rams. I mentioned this on the Sunday night show, Geoff, is that Philadelphia keeps putting out their C- effort and not getting got. And I don't think that they're going to turn a corner until they get got. And I think this is the perfect team to do it against. I've been pretty unimpressed by, especially last week, of Philadelphia's defense. And, well, Bieniemy has Sam Howell and the Washington offense playing a little bit up. Like, the Rams offense is legitimately good, and they might get Cooper Kupp back for the game. Even if they don't, they're still moving the ball kind of at will offensively. They didn't punt in that Indianapolis game until the fourth quarter. Now, it did have to go to overtime because their defense isn't all that good and let them come back from a 23-0 deficit. But this opened at 5.5. Money came in on the Rams. I think it's gotten to a point now where people will look at this and be like, well, the Eagles are undefeated. They just lost in the Super Bowl. They're clearly better than the Rams, which I don't necessarily disagree with. But a home game for the Rams back on turf. I like the Rams in this spot. They have yet to lose against the spread as well, which I kind of like. Jeff's on mute.
Yeah, he is on mute.
Geoff, you're on mute.
Turn your mute on, bro.
I had to reset my mic because it frizzled again. I don't know.
You're back now.
I forgot. I see this game like Tim sees it. I think the Eagles just almost hurt Stafford. Like, he looks like he's walking sideways every football game. So, and I do agree with everything you said, though, Pat. And I wouldn't be shocked. And the Eagles are 4-0. I don't even think they've played their B football yet. And I'll give them a pat on the back for that because they've avoided the Super Bowl hangover. They swapped out coordinators. They're still winning games. You watch them, you're like, man, this team's still going to be like, they're going to be amazing when they get it all rolling. Matchup wise, I think they just put Stafford on his ass in the same way the Colts did the whole second half, in the same way the Bengals did.
Yeah, that's the fear here. But that's exactly what I thought Philadelphia was going to do to Washington last week. And they did sack Howell 5 times. It didn't make a difference because when they weren't sacking him, they were just giving up chunk yardage.
Yeah, secondary's really beat up over there. Big plays all the time, it seems.
Plays, very big plays, some of the biggest. This is what I hear. Kansas City in Minnesota. Minnesota is a 5-point dog at home against Kansas City, who barely beat the Jets on Sunday night, have also not looked very good this season. They are 2-2 against the spread. Minnesota finally got off the mat, got their first win against Carolina, and although they covered the spread in less than convincing fashion, Kirk did throw a 99-yard pick six and got absolutely wasted on the return. But then Minnesota got their turn to go back through it as well. I don't really know what to make of the Vikings. Geoff, you're usually a good Vikings head when it comes down to it. Like, they almost have a top 10 offense. Their defense is clearly not as bad as it was a year ago. And after watching Sunday night, maybe I just need to flush. It's just a weird game for the Chiefs. But in 2 games this year, they've looked really bad. Even the Jacksonville game that they won, they didn't look very good.
That's right.
Yeah, and I got to be honest. What's the number we're working with? 5? Right?
5, yeah.
Those are the weirdest numbers, especially for a Chiefs team where the public or just football bettors in general are willing to accept laying points with them for the most part. I don't know what to make of either team. The Vikings, they won on margin last year. They lost on margin this year. The NFL is mean and cruel like that in some respects. I think it's going to be a really close game. Chiefs win close. This is the Fienberg. This is a total Fienberg. Chiefs win, Vikes cover.
It really does feel that way. Yeah, I'll take Minnesota as well, +5. Tim?
I'm taking Minnesota too. I kind of think Minnesota is very live to win the game for the reasons we discussed. The Chiefs haven't looked that impressive. Justin Jefferson is going to wreak havoc on that secondary. Chiefs have played good defense, but I say that, but then Zach Wilson had a pretty good game against them. And if Zach Wilson has a pretty good game against you, that suggests that maybe your defense has more problems than you're letting on. I don't think this is a top 10 defense.
Well, it's funny because it's not rated as a top 10. To look at the numbers, what do you think the Chiefs are offensively on the year? This will shock you.
11th, 12th.
8th.
Yeah.
They still move the ball pretty well.
They do, and they've had some drops, but Mahomes has been sloppy for a lot of the year. Like, Mahomes has not been good this year. He's been good, but he hasn't been Mahomes good, right? He's in a couple of games, he's been less than sharp, and he certainly wasn't sharp against the Jets. He threw what essentially were 3 interceptions. He did not play that well, but he did what he had to do to win, so we give him that. In Minnesota, Vikings should probably win this game. I think they've got every opportunity to win this game. Kind of like them too.
Yeah, that's a round of Vikings. Even the coin agrees with us on this one. So, Geoff, this is an interesting spot for the Vikings. Let's say they lose this game. What's their upcoming schedule?
I'll bring it up.
I'm looking for it right here. Kansas City, Minnesota. So they're 1-3 right now. If they would lose this game, they would go to 1-4. They get the Bears next week. Then they go to the 49ers, Packers, Falcons, Saints, Broncos. They have a pretty easy schedule after they get through. Once they get through the 49ers, you got Bears, Packers, Falcons, Saints, Broncos, Bears, Raiders, Bengals. Those are all winnable games for Minnesota. So I guess, they're not really in contention to like completely tank out and try to go for the number 1 pick. I retract my statement.
Yeah, and by tank out, what's that, like trading Cousins to Atlanta or something?
Or to the Jets.
Yeah.
Or wherever, or having him fake an injury or something like that. Like, Kirk, hey, here's $50 million. Please sit at home for a bit. We're going to play this jabroni.
Yeah. I would argue, just looking at the schedule, it could be the Chiefs play on Thursday, having brought up schedules.
Yeah, but against a dead duck. So that doesn't really matter.
Broncos. They play Broncos on next Thursday, which is good for your Jets, I guess.
And of course, they get the full extra rest before they play Los Angeles.
No? What are you talking about?
Well, once they play the Broncos, then their next game is against the Chargers.
Oh,
so they get
bullshit.
So they get the mini bye before they play.
You know what, Tim? What a fucking piece of shit. The Chargers play next week on Monday. The Chiefs play on Thursday.
Oh, that is incredibly unjust.
Fuck off.
Maybe if you cry about it some more, they'll change it.
No, they're not changing shit. It's bullshit.
Making the schedule. Just making the schedule. Jerry Tillery.
Just like people can be like, Fienberg being annoying. That's a legit grievance. I'm
with you. I'd be griping big time. And that's a very, when you're playing your arch rival and it's a late game, it's America's game of the week, like to have that type of imbalance between rest is completely unfair. Completely unfair.
Fuck that.
That's not right. It's not right.
A fucking blonde will probably be there too.
That's what you're calling Taylor Swift now?
No, I like her. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan of Taylor Swift. I think her music's really
good.
I
actually like that celebrity still exists, because for a while it felt like celebrity no longer exists in the society.
There are very few actual genuine celebrities.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And for a bit, like around 2012, like, is anyone even a real celebrity anymore? Is that even a thing? It's good. I know it's weird as fuck, the people that go all out for her, but it's part of me is not. I think it's nice to see like genuine, true celebrity still exists.
I'm 100% on board. In a world where everybody's famous, there are so few celebrities. It's important that we still have some.
I have to ask you, why do you find it weird that people go all out for her? Like, what is the difference between going all out for her as a big fan and you going all out for the Chargers? I'm being genuinely serious.
No, what were you implying? I don't know.
You said
it's good that people like her.
Yeah.
I mean, like when people like that, you find out that she's at a restaurant, and the next thing there's like 10,000 people outside of a restaurant. Like you could think I'm crazy. I would never harass.
You would never go to an Alabama football game to go see Philip Rivers
I had a respect. Like I would never harass. I'd never in like a public.
Well, let's say someone heard through the grapevine that Philip was eating tonight somewhere in Toronto. You wouldn't make a purpose of trying to get to that restaurant to say hi. You wouldn't show up. You would just let it be. You knew for a fact that Philip was having dinner tonight in some restaurant in Toronto. You would just you say, "Oh, that's interesting." You go about your day, or would you say, "Oh, maybe I'll drop by"?
If he was in Toronto, I got, don't worry. I'd have connections that it would be like, it would be arranged.
Answering my question. Thank you.
It would be arranged. No, but it would be arranged.
That's because you have real pull. Listen, Woody Johnson got his son to meet Taylor Swift because he has real pull. If you're not one of the elite like Woody Johnson or Geoff Fienberg, then you have to wait outside.
It's true. Not everybody can have things arranged so that they can meet their heroes. Some of us have to stand outside with the crowd and just hope to catch a glimpse of glory as it walks by.
I don't want to go back down this road again because last time I mentioned having access to somebody, it's gotten turned into like 6 ways to sideways. But let's just put it this way. I'm not even going to say it.
Say it.
There's a link. Philip, me and Philip's brother aren't total strangers. Okay, just leave it at that. But I don't think it's weird that people are like music fans or people that love her are obsessed over her and her music. I think like genuine celebrity. I like to see it. I don't know how. I like that Taylor Swift fans think Zach Wilson's a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes if they watch the football game. Like that's kind of funny, but doesn't bother me. Maybe
Mahomes was doing Zach Wilson a solid in that game because he knows that there's a lot of like young girls that like Taylor Swift, and if they become big Zach Wilson fans, they might bring their mom to go meet Zach Wilson, and then Zach Wilson can bang their moms because he's super into that, as we hear.
I don't think Kelsey's good enough for her.
Okay.
Really? Now that is a hot take. Why do you think that?
But dude, anyone that has their own dating show, like their own reality, need to find a
How about if you've been on the Pat Mayo Experience, you might be like minor league compared to Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, but everybody is minor league compared to Taylor Swift.
That's true. Me? Who's been on the Pat Mayo Experience?
Travis Kelce.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, he's on Radio.
We compared earrings and talked about catching Kelce.
Okay, so okay,
I think you're setting unrealistic expectations. Like, who is a big enough star that they wouldn't seem like not good enough for Taylor Swift? I can't believe
someone could be a big star, but if you have the personality where you feel like you want to have a dating show, I don't think you're a quality. I don't think you're a good match for Taylor Swift. Now, Kelsey's a great match for other people, I'm sure, but I don't think that's a good match for, what do they call her, mother?
This is all the residue of Geoff spending time on these Rumble forums.
It is, yeah.
People hate Kelsey.
Pfizer Kelce trying to give you the death jab.
Oh my God, no, now you're not.
Here's all the Kelsey rhetoric, and he's now trying to dress it up in the most respectable terms possible.
No.
So that he can go back to his buddies on 4chan and say, "Hey, I went to bat for the anti-Kelsey position."
Yeah, I guarantee you that ad that I saw today, Tim, that I texted to you, is made for Geoff. When you're in the ballot box, Geoff, you're alone. No one can know who you voted for. What a weird ad.
That's true. I think
they all think that. I bet you they all think he's not good enough for Taylor too.
No, shut up. They all hate him, but I don't hate Travis Kelce. I just don't think he's good enough for her. But you're right, Tim. I would probably think no one is good enough for her. And my shtick with Travis Kelce isn't like I don't hate that Rumble people shtick is they don't like him because they think he's woke. I don't give a shit. I'll drink Bud Lights right now. I got them in the fridge. I don't care about that stuff. That's not my agenda. Not my agenda.
Is that like some sort of like Rumble code that we don't know about? To be like, I'm really
here. Shut up! It isn't.
Some sort of hand signs. Tip off.
I don't even think I actually have a Rumble subscription. Like I just use the site because there's someone who posts stuff I like, and it's about a boring loser radio host who's gone bitch.
Oh, so he went too woke, but you can go as woke as you want.
He did. Travis Kelce's not woke. I don't think Travis Kelce's woke. If he is, like, just being a Bud Light sponsor doesn't, to me, prove that you're woke.
What if you're a Pfizer sponsor telling people to get the jab? What if you're telling people to get the jab, Geoff, and taking the money for it?
I don't know. We've gone somewhere weird. That's probably my fault. If this makes daddies and daughters watch football together, it's a beautiful thing. I don't know how that's possible. Like, I can't fathom someone. They watch football just for the pans to her every, 6 plays, I guess, right?
I mean, I just don't understand why you don't think Travis is good. You're starting to sound like Trump, who, gives his opinions on the Travis Kelce Taylor Swift relationship, where he said he hopes they have a good life and maybe it'll work out, but it probably won't.
I just think a guy who has to have his own reality show to find a match isn't a good match for her. She seems, I'm putting her up on a pedestal that I feel like she probably deserves on, which is probably really corny and shit. And I got a 7-year-old that already belts out her songs, and she's coming here next fall, arm and a leg, to get into that Rogers Center. I love that picture so much. My group chat loves that picture.
It's a great picture.
Like my group chat's obsessed with that picture. They enjoyed that as much as anything. That'll probably be called back for a while, both on the show and in my personal life. But yeah.
I mean, I could just see the thumbnail for this show should be you protecting Taylor Swift and holding your hand out, keeping Travis Kelce away.
It's what the body. It's basically it's Geoff as Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard.
Because he's determined that Travis Kelce, who he must not have close enough connections with, isn't good enough for Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, you know what, Geoff? I'm pretty good friends with. I was going to say I'm pretty good friends with Travis Kelce's brother, but he's also in the NFL, so that's not going to work.
I know. I just don't. He could do like she doesn't need a. I don't know. I guess I've already. I don't.
What would
even
make
know
you
what
happy?
I'm saying.
Who could she be dating that you'd be happy about?
That's a good question. It's not like I'm sitting here with an answer.
I mean, I don't see what the big deal is. The guy's a multiple Super Bowl champion. He had his own reality show. He hosted Saturday Night Live. He's in the pocket of Big Pharma, so he's got tons of cash. Makes sense to me. Handsome fella. #1 sports podcast in the world.
Everything but that reality show, to me, they're a good match. But when you need that, I just feel like.
What do you mean? Hold on. When you say you need that, what are you implying? That like he was really going to find his wife on this reality show? Well, you thought that was the real purpose of the reality show?
When you want to do something like that, it makes me question
I would love to do that. I'm married. My wife would sign off on me hosting my own dating show because it'd be fucking hilarious.
When you need to do something like that, it makes me question your motivations for what you're doing right now.
So you don't trust anyone that's ever been on The Bachelor?
You're going to be a very difficult dad for the boyfriends to come home to meet. I can see it now. If Travis Kelce isn't good enough for someone you don't even know, I can only imagine how difficult of a dad you're going to be to introduce to. You have very high standards, Jeffrey. That's very.
No. Oh God. Like in terms of what he's worth and what he is like done and his resume, like yes, in that sense, he is good enough for her. But I think anyone who needs to
He's just no good. He's just no good.
If you need to have your own dating reality show, to me, you're not good enough to date.
But hold on. What do you mean by he has to have your own reality?
I don't know. He had one.
Yeah, so I get that he had one. Fucking Deshaun Jackson had a reality show. Like,
and I would say the same thing about him if he was
you get
in
paid
this
money.
spot,
He gets paid money by Pfizer to do pharma ads. He got paid money by a TV network to be on a TV show. What's the difference?
Your doppelganger ran a reality TV show where he fired people for years, and they elected him president.
If Travis Kelce did a reality show where he fired people, I feel like I would think of him as a much more suitable mate than doing
so what you're saying
the cringe fest.
We finally got to the point
show.
Here. Donald Trump would be the perfect match for Taylor Swift. I mean, we finally got back to something that both his friends on Rumble would agree with.
You like Donald Trump way more than me.
That's not true. How happy are you about your photo?
I think it's a great photo.
See, look how proud you are. Remember that face about Geoff.
People are just going to remember the corn dog. You know that, right?
You say that, but
I think that's like etched in people's minds. Like Kenny freaked. The chat lost it. It's still coming up 3 days later that people are like legitimately rattled by how you eat a corn dog.
Well, I think
you seem to think it's normal.
I do think it's normal. Yes.
Who has come out in support of you of eating a corn dog that way?
You know what? Nobody yet. But I'm going to ask the fans to do me a solid in the comments and come out and let people know that what I'm that what I've done is a more elegant and ultimately correct way to eat it.
The best way it was phrased was there was a tweet someone sent me, Geoff, that they claimed that the way that Tim eats a corn dog is just a bougie way of eating poor people food.
Oh, that's good.
That's dead on.
I like that.
Dead on. You're just a hipster, Tim.
I don't understand. Like, aren't you afraid you'd hurt your teeth on a frozen matzo stick?
Well, you got to chew carefully.
Thank you. You just answered the question of how people eat corn dogs when they get to the bottom.
Not the same thing as biting fully into the dog and then trying to slide it off the stick. Like, that just seems so barbaric. It's like you don't need a shish kebab off the shish kebab. You once it's cooked, you slide it off onto a plate or onto.
People eat shish kebab off the shish kebab.
That seems really strange. Once it's cooked,
you think that's strange? But eating the corn dog like you eat it isn't strange. What's going on here?
Yeah, you slide it off the skewer because it slides off.
How do you slide it off?
With a fork.
Oh, you don't just go like that?
No, not with your hands. Get all greasy.
You were touching the corn dog with your hands.
Just the tips of my fingers, yes.
Just the tip. That's how you like the corn dog, huh? Just the tip?
I don't know why I have to defend myself here. Like, what I did was perfectly reasonable. And if you think this is like the Dukakis riding the tank moment, you're very mistaken.
No, it's the Howard Dean moment for you in this campaign.
Yeah, but people forget about that moment, to be fair, is that he'd already lost the Iowa caucuses. He finished third, and he was already on his way out. Like
he had just won the New Hampshire caucus. That's what it was from.
No, it was from him finishing third at the Iowa caucuses. And he's like trying to fire up the troops about it's okay that we only finished third.
He was fired
to John Kerry. Yeah, he was fired up, but his campaign had already fizzled out by the time the caucuses had come about.
Yeah.
Can I be weird again?
Yeah, go for it, man.
Please.
I enjoy it. Like, it doesn't bother me any of like I had like they make a spectacle of it. How she comes to the building, how she leaves the building, how they pan to her.
Still on
like
this?
people seem really upset about it, but I think it's a fun show for the NFL.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime during a football broadcast. Filling it up with anything is a good thing. They could be doing what the stations in Canada do, where like there's a moment that there's a lapse in the gameplay. They cut back to the TSN studios where you have some guy who's never bet on anything in his life giving you bets.
And then, but you have people like, Chris Mad Dog Russo yelling that she's not allowed to celebrate because she doesn't know who like Phil Simms is or Len Dawson or Tony Gonzalez. Like, those are the dumbest NFL takes I've ever heard.
You really are like the generic sports guy, aren't you? Like when we are not around you during like the morning, you're listening to fucking Mad Dog Russo and shit like that.
No, I'm not, dude. Everything is at Pat. Everything I ingest. It's like a 1 minute Twitter clip of like the thing. I don't actually listen.
So what you're saying is that Mad Dog Russo, old man yelling at cloud, could actually have been making a nuanced point over 9 minutes, but you only saw the 1 minute? That seems unfair to judge.
No, he's been really angry about. He hates any time it pans and is like, why is she allowed to be happy? She doesn't even know who Phil Simms is.
It sounds like he's
like,
not
that's
happy.
Crazy.
That sounds like someone who's not happy with themselves.
Like, again, I enjoy the show. I think it's funny that she, like the other celebrity tag-alongs. I do think it's funny that like her friends, like Blake Lively's cheering for the Chiefs, like Tim would cheer for the Jets. I think is kind of funny. Like, but hey, it's all part of this show and it's hysterical.
Why is that so weird? Like if Tim played on the Jets, I would root for the Jets to root for Tim. Like if my
hold
friend
on a second
was rooting,
let's go backwards here for a moment.
If Tim weird. If Tim started dating Zach Wilson, for example, and they cut to Tim all the time in the press box because he was dating Zach Wilson, I'd probably cheer for the Jets too because Tim's now a part of the team and I want to be there for my friend. That makes sense to me.
That's not the weird. Yes, if Tim was dating someone and they've been dating for a week and then you went to the football game, you'd be cheering for the Chiefs like you were born and raised in Missouri. I totally get that. Not.
You don't get that?
I get cheering for the team. I don't get like cheering like it's the Super Bowl and it's the thing.
So,
but
your whole point is because they're not as big of fans as you, they don't get to enjoy it.
You basically are
I
taking.
agree.
They don't get
they're
to
allowed
cheer
to-
as loud as you do because you're a bigger fan. Oh,
No,
I'm sorry, Geoff.
I enjoy it. I've stated I enjoy it. I think it's fun. That's the part that I think is funny. Is these people with no relation to any of it are all in like that? I think that's a really funny side plot to all of the silliness. And by the other people, these are other ultra high end celebrities. I think it's a great show. I hope she comes to every game. She going to Minnesota? Like, I'm not against the show one bit. So I don't want it to spin like I am.
I thought she was going to Europe because her tour starts.
See, I'm not that big a fan then.
Maybe she'll be dating Josh Allen this week. Show up in London.
Yeah, she's such a big fan that she's just going to other football games. That would be so funny. If she just shows up at other random NFL games, be hilarious.
Chiefs and Dolphins in Munich. I mean, she'll be there. Or Frankfurt or Nuremberg, wherever the game is.
You think that they're playing it in Nuremberg?
Well, one of those big cities in Germany. I don't know which.
Frankfurt has the game.
Okay.
I was trying to get us to go to that. DraftKings told me no.
That's too bad. That would have been fun.
Yeah.
That'd have been an interesting one.
What, going to Frankfurt for Chiefs and Dolphins? That'd be great. There's a show, to look at the analytics of this show, there is a shocking amount of people in Germany who listen to this show. It is the third biggest downloader of the show after the United States, Canada, then it's Germany. For golf, it's the UK. But apparently UK doesn't care about the NFL. Germany does. Or at least this show.
Yeah, it would be great to hoist a big stein of beer around some fans and have whatever it is, schnitzel or whatever it is that German culture is all about for food, and that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what a Big Mac would taste like in Germany.
Oh my God. Do you think they have McDonald's Monopoly? You wouldn't be able to go because Monopoly's on the go? You couldn't
No,
give
I'd have to appoint a proxy to
Oh my God.
to look after that while I was gone.
2 hash browns a day, buddy.
Yeah, or whatever, right? Just give me the stickers. Here's some money.
Jets at Denver. Broncos favored by 2. Let's make this easy and take the Jets.
Let's put the Jets on the money line parlay.
Oh yeah, I like this a lot.
Not because I'm super excited about the Jets.
Is this your actual Super Bowl for what the Jets have become this year?
No, it will be a delight to win this game. But no, I mean, look, it's just the books are telling you the Jets are slightly better. I agree with that. The Jets defense should just envelop whatever that Denver is trying to do offensively. Jets can, you can certainly run on the Broncos. I expect the Jets to do that. I mean, they went to the wire with Chicago. Chicago's a significantly worse team. A lot of things are conspiring here for me to think the Jets have to be the play. I just think they're more talented at just about every position other than quarterback. But look, Zach Wilson can just do what he did last week. Like, I mean, we're not going anywhere, but we can beat bad teams with performances like that. And so, I mean, who constitutes a bad team much worse than the Denver Broncos? I mean, I don't know how many more games Robert Saleh is going to coach this year where he's the superior coach, but one of the few instances where he is. So,
what if this turns into a debacle where Saleh makes just a completely boneheaded decision and then Zach Wilson throws them out of the game for the loss against Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos?
Oh, shock me.
Will you be officially out? Because it feels like you're getting sucked back into Zach Wilson a little bit.
No, I can't. No, I'm not getting sucked back in because there is no future there. I've been on that merry-go-round enough to know that there's no future there. No, it's nice that he's playing a little better. Yeah, maybe he can be a backup, but no, I'm not excited about it. I think they're going to win the game. That's why. I think the Denver Broncos are terrible.
Something about this line, Geoff, makes me kind of think Denver's the right side because I don't know who was betting Denver at -2. Like, if you made the Jets a 2-point favorite, I believe they would still get all the money.
Jets alternate line a touchdown. That I will be making that bet.
Nice.
So you could argue this could be my super lock, but I could say it could go the other way as well. I see this game maybe being having extremes to one side. The Broncos are the worst. The Jets defense is going to annihilate them.
I think so.
The Jets have at least played really the Bills, the Patriots, the Chiefs, the Cowboys. Like, that is a gauntlet. The Broncos have played the worst garbage in the league.
And they
And
still
the- and
and
the
they
Jets,
still
they
have
do
the
have self-
32nd ranked defense.
Pardon?
The Broncos have the 32nd ranked defense. Even, I mean, yeah, they got crushed by Miami, and that's skewing it somewhat. But like the other teams they've played have been horrible offensively, and they're still the worst defense.
Yeah, I like the Jets. I like the Jets by a lot. I'm going to even assume the Jets give a shit about their coach. They're gonna fuck up the Broncos.
See, that's the thing. That's why I'm worried that the Jets are the wrong side of this, because I just don't know who's betting on Denver at this number.
Denver just won a game. I don't know. People still think the Jets are pathetic, and Zach Wilson's not low.
No, he is kind
Well,
of low.
not very good. He's not very good. That's about as good as you can play. He played on Sunday. That's like his best performance. He was like the school student or the student who like always gets a 61, but then got a 71 on a paper, and everyone's like, "You did such an awesome job."
Okay,
Well,
you
everybody else is
noticed that
getting
too. You noticed that too on Sunday
well,
night.
the kid who gets the 90 just gets ignored.
Yeah,
it
so
was-
you're
it was-
saying it's like the
People were
the
treating
manager
No,
of
people
the
were treating-
basketball team getting to get a free layup and
Yeah.
everyone like moving out of the lane for the kid.
Yeah,
right?
people were treating on Sunday night when Zach Wilson was like playing like reasonable football. People were treating him like
Oof. So you're
that-
putting it stronger than I'm going to put it.
I mean that's what it is though.
That is a scorching hot
Oh
way,
my
take
God.
way to put it. But yes, the way the way that the guys were lapping him up, and even online, the giving him plaudits for very pedestrian stuff, yeah, was very, very sad.
That just the tone of the entire thing was just like, oh man, it's so great to see Zach Wilson play this well. It's like he's a fucking NFL quarterback. Like he's playing,
Yeah.
he is crossing the minimum bar it takes to play in the league, and people are like, oh, what a hero. Just a real hero out there, not being the absolute piece of trash he is every week.
Yeah, getting messages from people saying, "Oh, you must be excited. Zach's playing well." It's like, no, he's not playing well. He's doing okay. He's doing fine. It's all right. Like people forget he was the second pick in the NFL draft. Like he's an incredible bust. Wrong with you?
I did read an interesting theory the other day that is Trey Lance the biggest bust that no one's ever going to remember or bring up because the Niners have just been good?
Depends whether San Francisco managed to win a Super Bowl in the next couple of
See,
years.
I don't know. I feel like just them
They
being
never win a Super Bowl. People will talk about it because they'll talk about how this team got so close. And imagine if they had the draft picks that they threw away on Trey Lance, it could have helped put them over the top. I think only a Super Bowl will wipe away that talk.
See, I don't even know. I think they've accomplished enough. I get that they haven't won the Super Bowl, but they've been so good in the Trey Lance. Like, since they drafted Trey Lance, they have been so good that I don't know if it ever... I think it just kind of gets wiped away from people's memories.
I lean with Pat. We see bad draft picks all the time. We see teams select picks that end for a full draft, like a whole draft class was worth of bad picks. And it happens. This isn't how it happened there, but I totally agree with Pat that I think it's kind of flushed, and Shanahan and Lynch have overcome. Well, they'll always be blamed for it. They've overcome any like true responsibility for how they've come through it.
Yeah, because they've succeeded in spite of it.
Yeah.
Dallas at San Francisco, Sunday Night Football. This game has been teetering between 3 and 3.5 all week. It's 3.5 at the moment, but I could see it getting back down to 3 and then back up to 3.5. That seems to be where we're going to settle on all of this. I am torn because I do think that, I said it earlier, that San Francisco, I think, is a step above everyone else in the NFC, at least from what I've seen through 4 weeks. But Dallas had one bad game, and they beat the shit out of everyone else. I worry that Parsons, although he's apparently going to play through the pain of an ankle, that even if we saw this happen last year, didn't we? The moment Parsons got hurt, this defense was completely different, wasn't it?
I'm not torn on this game at all. San Francisco's on my money line parlay, the last part of it. They not only do they have Dallas's number, they're better than Dallas. Like you talked about it earlier. You talked me into, and I agree with you, but putting them in a echelon above the Cowboys. And I can't disagree. The 49ers, the way they are playing at home against the Cowboys team that chronically underperforms against them, I couldn't imagine taking Dallas. It's almost San Francisco at just about any number.
14.
At that point, we're getting high. Although if the Niners win this by 14 plus, wouldn't shock me because they're crushing everybody.
6.
Yeah, like 6 would be a number where I still think you have to take San Francisco.
I don't know if I'm with you on that point.
I know that sounds crazy.
I'm with you on
Niners on the side here.
I'm with you on San Francisco. I just don't think. I think that Parsons last year, Geoff, was like the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. He gets slightly banged up, and he's not even mentioned. Like from that point on, like they're not generating any pressure. Their entire defense runs through him. Like if he's not, and maybe he's 100%, and this is all just me putting shit out there. But if he is not 100%, he's playing this game at like 80%, and he's not as effective, their defense just isn't going to be great. And they're already banged up on the offensive line. It's not like San Francisco's defense is, I mean, Josh Dobbs actually kind of, I wouldn't say carved them up, but he actually looked quite good against the Niners defense. I just don't see how anyone stops this offense at the moment with the way that they're running. So I too will take San Francisco.
Last week, I made a bet. I made a bet with my gut, which is really dumb. Just listen to smart people, try to get the best number, and ignore the gut. And that was so stupid, it was on Denver. I was lucky enough to escape with a tie, hit the money line side on some parlays, yada, yada, yada. And I was staring at this week's line like I want to make a bet with my gut. It's week 5. This is a playoff game for Dallas. It's just a measly week 5 game for the 49ers. But now that we're here and I actually have to make a pick, I can't take Mike McCarthy to beat Kyle Shanahan. I just cannot do it. Props to Dallas if they pull that win off. I'm actually hoping Dallas wins because then maybe, like, you know how Tim will get this. I'm just a dumb fan of a team who's like, oh, if Dallas wins this game, they'll be like less hungry to win next week. I
don't
disagree. But San Fran, I'm taking Kyle Shanahan to just win this game. Coaching, I'll lay whatever the number.
Monday Night Football. Green Bay and Vegas. Vegas is a 2.5-point dog right now to Green Bay. I don't know exactly who the Packers are going to have back, who they're not going to have back. Did they put Bakhtiari on IR, or is he potentially available for this game? Do you know?
IR.
He is on IR. Okay. So that's not great for their offensive line. Fortunately, the Raiders generate no pressure. Jimmy G should be back for them with the extra day of rest that they get. But the Packers played on last Thursday night. I love the Packers in this game, even at -2.5. Give me the Packers. I think we saw the Packers last week, and I was all over Detroit against the Packers because we talked about Detroit off the hop, that they're closer to that Philly and Dallas tier than they are to whatever tier Green Bay is on at the moment. However, the Raiders are like one of the 5 shittiest teams, and Green Bay is just much better than that. So I think it's really nice, 2.5. I think by the time that we get closer to kickoff, this goes through 3. So I'll take the 2.5 now.
This is probably my super lock, Pat. I am with you. I think it's going to be an absolute shit kicking, like super smash play of the start of the season for me, unit wise, on the Green Bay Packers in this game. Nothing to do with my pick, but I do believe this is the first time the Packers have ever played in Vegas.
Makes sense.
And I think it's going to be like 88% green and gold.
Jair Alexander is expected to play. Luke Musgrave coming off the concussion is expected to play. Full strength for Christian Watson, and Eric Stokes has returned to practice as well to be removed from the PUP list. Like, they are getting healthier, and they've been undermanned severely the entire time. I don't think that the Packers are good by any means. They just really feel like that. Basically, the line of demarcation in the NFL right now goes through the Packers. Like, there are teams that are a lot worse than them. There's teams that are a lot better than them. They're just kind of in the middle. And Tim, Vegas is one of those bottom rung teams.
Yeah, I'll go with you because I think there's value on them. But I won't be shocked if they lose because I don't think they're there. I don't think they're very good either. I don't feel very strongly about it. If the Raiders won this game, it wouldn't shock me at all. They're in Vegas. They have some playmakers. Devontae Adams in a revenge game. They got no answer for him. Adams could ruin the game for them. But, I'm torn a little bit, but I will take the Packers.
Tim, earlier in this show, wanted to victory lap the Patriots thing. I should just as likely victory lap the Raider thing. They should be 0-4. The Bronco kicker missed kicks. This team is the worst. like maybe the worst
Geoff,
team in the
Jeff, before you go into it, I wouldn't criticize the Raiders too much because I hear Josh McDaniels might settle things in different ways that maybe you don't want a part of.
Oh, I'm backing. I said nothing. I said nothing. But yeah, I truly Tim thinks the Patriots will be in the bottom 5. No, it's not. It's the Raiders. The Raiders will be arguably the worst. Them in Denver and whoever.
They've been in every game but one. Like, let's calm down here.
So
like,
hold on a second.
They lost to the Chargers by a score. They lost to the
Chargers suck.
I kind of like what the Chargers are cooking here. We'll see about next week, but I really like you next week.
So DVOA has a new thing called estimated wins, or at least I haven't noticed it before. What do you think that the Raiders' estimated wins are for the season through 4 games?
1.
0.6.
3?
Yeah, so 1. Okay.
That's not 1. That's
basically
where they have one.
That rounds up to 1. That's essentially 1.
Carolina and Chicago have 0.
Yeah.
Estimated wins, 0. And they do have 0 wins, so that does make sense. Houston's actually quite bad in this number.
Interesting.
Yeah. That the Falcons are also, they have 2 wins and their estimated wins are 1. So, super locks for the week. I'm going to take Houston. Plus 2.5.
Packers.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers would probably be my other one. That's probably going to be my gold and silver picks on the Best Bet show. I got myself too hyped for Philadelphia last week, and like Seattle was my silver pick. I should have we knew Seattle was going to win. I don't know why I felt so like queasy about that game to like go all in on it in terms of Seattle, knowing how bad the Giants are in a close spread game. Seems weird. What do you got, Tim?
Baltimore.
The Raisins. The California Raisins. -4 on the road in a division game.
Yeah.
And your money line parlay is Washington, Buffalo, Baltimore, Jets, and
49ers.
49ers, San Francisco. Yeah. So 5-way, what does that pay?
9-18.
9-18? Well, I guess you have an underdog on there with the Jets, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Win that one, and we basically are clear sailing for the whole year.
Jeez, you might be.
Yeah,
Close to it, yeah.
I mean,
But the win last.
You
this week?
lost 3, and then you won 1, so you're up like 1. So you win that, you'd be up 9 with 12 weeks to go. Yeah, almost break.
Almost, and you know the Pilgrim Parlay is coming in. So
who blows? I mean, it has to be Denver who blows us up, doesn't it, Geoff?
No, Geoff thinks it'll be Pittsburgh who will blow it up.
Yeah, I think it'll be Pittsburgh, but poetic justice would probably be Denver. But I'm going to have real money on the Jets. I'm going to have real money on the Patriots.
I got who blows this up. It's Chicago.
Out of the gate.
Yeah, just out of the gates. Just the one that you feel the best about, just over immediately.
Well, the one I feel the best about is Baltimore.
Okay. Fair enough. Detroit is going to be my survivor pick. You can always find the cheat sheet in the newsletter, people. Don't ask me. Use the service, which is the newsletter. The newsletter is always there. You can always use the newsletter, and it's free to join down in the description right now, as is the Listeners League. Tim, we got it in under 2.5 hours. You happy?
That is so economical of us.
We can still stretch this out another 33 minutes if you want.
Well, if only there were more global celebrities dating NFL players, we could get Geoff's
Don't get
opinion
him started. He might just go on a rant. No one's good enough for my Taylor.
Exactly. My Tay-Tay is too good for Travis Kelsey. Oh, he had a dating
there's
5 years ago. Well, he's no good for her.
There's no one on the Chargers that I would think is good enough for her outside of QB1. And I think that would be bad for us. Just distraction. But I don't think anyone's good enough for her. So you're right. Like, it's a silly thing to say because I don't even know who I would pick.
So she deserves to be alone, is what you're saying.
Yeah, she knew you were trouble.
I don't want her to be alone either, though.
Tom Cruise?
No,
she could become a Scientologist. Jamie Foxx? I mean, she could
She could team up with him for those for the DK commercials.
I don't wanna, go down this rabbit
Jamie
hole,
Foxx
but-
isn't a DK person. He is someone else's representative, Tim. And
I thought
all
her and
Jamie
Jake-
Foxx wants to do. We're not going to fucking talk about Taylor Swift anymore, Jeff. That was
You
a
asked
joke.
me who I thought was good
It was
enough,
a
and
joke.
as an
It
old
was a
boy,
joke.
so-
And you took the bait.
But who is good enough? Who is good enough? Who is good enough?
Of her exes, I liked Gyllenhaal. I thought he was good enough.
Why? Why him?
See, I don't even know. I don't
Travis
have
would
an
kick his
actual
ass,
answer.
bro.
That's what you miss in all of this. Like, Travis Kelce's a dude. Was he like 6'7"? Oh, man.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
she's
he's
dated all of
all
these
man.
like
Yeah,
you know,
she's dated a bunch of guys with the physique of me.
cowards.
Now she wants like a dude.
a real dude with a beard.
Oh yeah, her last. Oh, don't get me wrong. I thought her last boyfriend was a bitch boy. So I think I like Kelsey more than the last one.
But like she used to date John Mayer. Like I look like a big man next to John Mayer. That's not good for John Mayer.
No, you look like a big man next to like the last boyfriend.
Yeah,
that
so
did
she's
before.
going the other
Healy,
way.
right? Wasn't that his name? Healy?
No, that guy's a piece of shit. I mean, the last long. I don't want to do this.
You really? I did not realize how invested you were in the personal life of Taylor Swift.
I'm not. I'm just.
It's just it's all come
I
up
have
on
a
the
lot of
Rumble
women in
boards
my
now that
life.
she started
a lot
dating
of women
Travis
in my
Kelce.
life.
He's our resident Swiftie.
Yeah, like he swore off Jake Gyllenhaal movies after they broke up.
Yeah, except for he's actually fucking Nightcrawler with Philip Rivers.
I've never. Me and Phil see Phil in Canton when he's there to meet Gates.
All right, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. I want to thank Jeff. I want to thank Tim, the coin, obviously, and Tim Andacust.
Tim and August.
That is not my name. And I just want to make clear for the record, I think Travis Kelce is perfectly good enough for Taylor Swift. And I wish them happiness, unlike Jeff, who hopes they break up.
Well, your blessings probably means it's over soon. Knowing
Vote
your
Je-
track record.
If you like Taylor Swift, vote Jeff.
No, I think Taylor Swift fans will agree with me.
Yeah,
Well,
But I don't think they're
being
listening
a
to the
Swiftie.
show,
Jeff
so-
speaks for them.
I don't think they're in our audience. Yeah.
I mean, when you say that they're not in our audience, you realize like she is what the biggest music act in the world at this point. You can't be the biggest music act in the world without just having fans from everywhere.
Okay, that's fair, but I mean like the people that are passionately like in the weeds with the nonsense. I
Like
don't
like
believe
Jamie
are in our
Foxx.
audience.
Like as Tim was going to point out, Jamie Foxx, not DraftKings sponsor Jamie Foxx. There's only one thing that guy wants to do in the world, and that's play blackjack at weddings on his phone. Like that's our audience.
And I'm gonna enter my McDonald's slips into the app to make Tim proud when we're done.
I'm so happy to hear that.
Well, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Smash like and sub to the channel on the way out. Leave a rating and review, and I will be back on Wednesday with Cam and Rob for the best bets. All right? Pat Mayo, I'll see you next time.
Mayo Experience! Experience!